Hello, hello, and welcome to Some Other Heroes. How are you all doing? Happy Sunday. We are back. It is our regular ongoing game with these wonderful three nerds with me here. My name is Chris. I use he, him as pronouns. I am your dungeon master. I'm an illustrator, a TTRPG fan, a bit of a storyteller, and I have the absolute honour of running this game with these three wonderful people who I will introduce to you now, starting with Charlie.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I use she, her pronouns. I am also an illustrator and a big dork and owner of a Podenco, which is making very noisy noises right now, chewing her antler. So I apologize in advance for that lovely background noise. And yeah, I love these nerds.
And we love you too. Next is Theo.
Hello, I'm Theo. I am also an illustrator and nerd, and I use they, them pronouns, and I will be playing the lovely, awkward, half-elf wizard, Eugene.
Fantastic. And finally, Wayne.
Hello, I'm Wayne. I'm not an illustrator. Get that. But I am
What
an art
are you
director.
doing here?
Yeah, get out.
I am an
He
illustrator.
doesn't even go here.
I'm an illustrator groupie. I only fit in the geek demographic. I do not fit in the illustrator demographic, but nonetheless, I am allowed to play with these weird people. I will be playing Rock, the Dragonborn, who is playing mum for this weird bunch of people. Apparently.
It is the podcast for and about mums.
Yeah.
It is. Speaking of which, hi, Charlie's mum.
Hi, Charlie's mum.
Hi, mum.
Regular viewers will know Charlie's mum is probably our number one fan. Questionable number one fan, because obviously Colleen's mum also watches us, so we are officially the stream that mums watch.
Adored by mum.
Powered by mum love. So we're going to dive in relatively quickly today. It's been a hot minute. It's been a whole month since you guys were with us, so I've got a bit of a big recap just to bring you all up to speed with where we are. So, in our last episode, having been hired by Rebecca Ryder, the mayor of Cloudscairn, our adventurers left the city for the first time since meeting one another on the airship known as the Dragonfly. Their mission? To quietly investigate a strange island that magically appeared near the borders of the skies of Cloudscairn and their neighbours, the Misttrium Empire. The journey, though not the longest most of the party have had, was not without incident. Firstly, they drew the attention of a mighty sky drake, the ever-flying dragons who frequent this region, who Rock entertained with a grandiose story about the making of the world. Later, arriving at their destination, the Dragonfly found this new floating island surrounded by a purple swirling cloud that gave off waves of very powerful magic. The ship was also attacked by a shoal of dangerous alphafish, large carnivorous skyfish, not normally known to travel in large groups. Fending off the attack, the crew and our adventurers spotted the ship sent by the City Watch ahead of them, drifting nearby, damaged from the same attack they had undergone, and docked with a large iron vessel Rock quickly identified as a military frigate from the Empire. Choosing not to get bogged down in the politics, our heroes, with the crewman Oddbob, took one of the Dragonfly sky dinghies and headed straight to the island. As they entered the cloud, all of them were assaulted by strange magics. Eugene and Aisling losing very important memories. When they awoke in a strange field, under very unfamiliar skies. Exploring, they found themselves by a peculiar sight for them from where they came from and have grown up in the scattered lands. They were along a coastal cliff overlooking a vast empty sea. They met a very strange gnome who barely reacted to them until they directly touched him, wherein his conversation was odd, muddled, and his memories seemed to be full of huge holes. Not learning anything beyond the nation's name of Derabar, the adventurers decided to push on into the woods they had seen to the north, eventually coming to the ruins of an old watchtower. Whilst looking as if it was safe to rest and working out if time was passing normally here, Aisling spotted tiny humanoid figures darting around. Believing them to be sprites or pixies, creatures she grew up around, she approached to say hello and see if they were friendly, only for them to reveal very sharp teeth and attack. Can everyone roll initiative for me, please? It's like, oh, God.
Oh boy.
It
we
begins.
Oh boy.
Well,
Oh,
Right, just give me 1 second.
No. Oh.
Okie dokie. So, let us start with Aisling. What did you get?
a 7.
A 7. Eugene?
4.
A 4. And
Good start.
Rock.
I got a total of 10.
A total of 10. So the sprites have got a surprise round on you because you weren't expecting them at all.
Excellent.
And excellent. And I am afraid you're all also going after them.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
This is great.
This is a good
Going
start.
well.
So if you all got Roll20 open so you can see the map.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. I will just flick us over there. So you can all see the map. If you would like to drag your characters onto anywhere around the south of the tower there.
South of it. Okay.
Yes, please.
Inside it or?
Well, you guys were poking around, so if you decided that you want to be inside it, you can be inside it. I know that you were all fairly close together.
Just inside. Because I was the one who spotted him.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. Okie dokie. And I will move your enemies into sight.
That's too many enemies.
Yeah, Chris, you made a mistake.
Yeah, this is
Let
too
me
many.
walk next to each other.
Cool. So, opening up, they all flit away initially and scatter like a cloud of like frightened insects. Some of them dodging near where you are at the entrance to this tower.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed.
I agree with Robin, by the way. This music is good.
Yeah.
No, it's supposed to be.
Right, so 3 of them are close to you at this point and will move around, and they take out these tiny little bows and arrows and pull them back and shoot at you. Aisling, as you are in the entrance, they will attack you first.
Oh no.
That is a 15 to hit.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I suppose.
I guess.
Doing 7 damage. The second one also. Ooh, it's 21 to hit. Effective.
Yes.
Doing 9 piercing.
Oh, grim. Can I use reactions in a surprise round?
Yeah, if a reaction applies to this, what do you want to cast, or what do you want to do?
I wanted to hellish rebuke it.
You can hellish rebuke. That's got a range, isn't it? Hellish rebuke.
Range 60 feet.
60 feet, then absolutely go ahead.
All right, cool. Let me friggin' find it. I've never
That's all right,
cast
no
it
problem.
before. I'm trying to find it. There it is. Okay.
I think it's a save from them, isn't it? I think it's a Constitution.
Yeah, I
Dexterity.
think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So
Dexterity saving throw, apparently. This is fire.
16.
Yeah, that beats it. But you still take half as much damage. So.
Okay. Do you want to roll me your damage then?
Yes. 18.
18 damage. Half of that is 9.
Yes, 3d10.
Wow.
Nice. So how does this sort of reactionary spell take hold?
I don't think Aisling has control over it. I think it just appeared without her realizing, and something hit her, and like if you hit flint, it was like sparks, and they sparked off, and when the sparks land on one of the sprites, the sparks catch fire as if they're flammable.
Amazing. And
So it's like white fire.
Yeah, it's monochromatic fire kind of envelops them for a second, and you hear this shriek, and they kind of string back and kind of throw this now useless bow to the floor.
Sorry about it.
Hissing at you. The third will, seeing that happen, is going to change its mind about what it's going to do. And it kind of
Wise.
spins on itself, and it just turns invisible.
Oh, gross.
No!
That's the opposite of what I wanted.
Just gone.
Oh, God.
So that will make it Rock's go. You can hear the flittering of others around.
How tall are these walls?
I'm going to say they vary in place. They're usually about probably somewhere between 5 and 10 feet.
So I can't see sort of over them to see where they are.
You can probably see through them. They're a bit gappy. Again, it's a proper ruin. It's like it's not a protective tower at all.
Fair enough. So
We probably say so points like here and here, where it's very close. It's easy to see outside.
Cool. So I'm probably going to move here where I can see through to this one.
Yep.
Which one's gone invisible, or is it gone?
It's gone.
It's gone. You can't see it. You don't know
Okay,
where it
fine.
is.
That's fine.
That'd be hilarious. Which one is invisible? I'll attack.
Well, no,
that
because
one.
I didn't know if one had gone from the map, so I was like,
It has,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Okay.
one in my direction, but it's now gone.
Actually, you know what? I won't. I'm going to stay here where I was, because this one in front of Aisling that I can see here, I would be worried about because it was becoming for the gap. So I am, first of all, as my bonus action, I am going to cast Bardic Inspiration on Eugene.
Inspire
So
our wizard.
Eugene, I shall inspire our wizard by saying, Eugene, they look nasty and they're tiny. Now, do well.
Okay.
That was my rousing inspiration. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack them by taking out my pistol and firing at it.
Amazing. Yeah, make an attack roll, please.
Oh boy. Okay. Ooh, 13 plus 4, 17.
17 will hit, yes.
Yay. And I am going to roll my damage. That's only 6 damage, unfortunately.
6 damage on this one straight in front of you, yeah?
Yes, this one here.
Awesome. You kind of watch it kind of just chunk away a little bit of their shoulder, and they kind of spin in place for a second, and then just kind of balance themselves up and just look a little determined.
And that's it. I've used my bonus action. And what I will do, though, is I'm going to sort of step over here so that I am behind cover from both of them, or from the near ones that I think can see me.
Okay, that sounds good. Excellent. It was... Sorry, Aisling, you rolled a 7, didn't you?
Yeah.
Cool. Then it is your go next.
I am going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Good plan.
And
Good job.
whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to go over here.
Eugene is just left standing.
Wait, what?
I'm just like slightly limping, shuffling away like, fuck this.
Awesome. Yep, that seems like a good idea. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
Have a quick cry.
You may bonus action cry.
Okay, cool.
Eugene, you are up next.
I think seeing that Eugene is going to think that's quite a good idea, so he's going to cast Mage Armor on himself. And also move backwards a little next to Aisling. And that is my turn.
Brilliant. Okay, so this one wants revenge and is going to dart, flit in, and just comes straight up and tries to sink its teeth into Rock's arm.
Oh, get away.
That's 24 to hit.
Yes.
That's not right. Hang on. Doing 8 piercing and 1 necrotic damage. And I would like you... Sorry, I would like you... Don't take the necrotic damage. I would like you to make a constitution save, please.
A 9.
9. Unfortunately, you do take that 1 point of necrotic damage. It's this sort of like black ichor kind of just spreads in.
You.
Oh, I think they're diseased.
Dear. Excellent. Then a second one will flit over the wall and take a shot with a bow and arrow. Only a 13 to hit on Eugene.
That does not hit now that I have Mage Armor.
What does your mage armor look like again? Is it?
It looks very similar to his father's sort of big paladin armor,
But
glowing purple.
Nice.
And it kind of looks a little bit too big. So kind of like when you're young and you like wear your dad's clothes.
I love
like your
that.
dad's suit jacket, and it's like a little bit too big at the shoulders.
Purple and awesome, as Robin says in the chat. Yeah, absolutely.
Purple is Robin's colour.
Oh dear. We have just a quick shout out to everybody who's joined us today. We have very much most of the Wicked Game lot here today, which is amazing.
Yay!
Thank you guys.
Yay!
Watch Us Die by Pixies.
Yeah, Death by Pixies. Nobody's got a character prep for just in case. I asked them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. 5 minutes before we went live.
anyone who plays D&D will know how comforting it is when 5 minutes before you start, your DM says, "You will have backup characters, right?" It's very comforting.
Dear. Another one will flit over the wall here, and will take a shot at Rock with his short bow. 9.
9 does not hit.
So he pulls back, and I think at the last minute you probably do your wonderful Rock and dive behind the wall.
I'm just going to, as my reaction, I'm going to yell, "Oh God, there's more of them!"
Dear. Right, excellent. That is their go for now, which brings it back round to Rock's go.
Right. Good. That's exciting. So I am going to I can't really move. Okay, I'm just going to spin around and take a shot at the one that has popped over the wall and surprised me. And I shall use my dagger yet again. My pistol yet again. Oh, that's a 21 to hit.
A 21 will definitely hit.
And my damage is 11 damage.
11 damage.
Hey!
Yep. And as my bonus action, I'm going to inspire Aisling.
Thanks.
So you...
And I'm just going to say, Aisling, they may look cute, but I don't think they're nice. Do something.
Really? I point to the bit of me that's bleeding.
With little tiny arrows sticking out of you, Gulliver's Travel style, I think.
Ah.
That's right. Rock just looks, you know how people look when their eyes are not great. He's just kind of like, what? What do you... Just do something.
Wonderful. By the way, you swatted this pixie to the floor and it does not get up.
Oh, yes, it's disappeared.
First
Wait.
one down.
Okay, good. The right kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
It stays down or it disappears?
Kind of smacks to the floor. Smacks to the floor and its wings just a bit and then it just stops moving. That will make it Aisling's go.
The other one in front of Rock, has that one taken any hits yet?
That one has. That's the one that you burnt. It's looking a bit crispy.
Okay, good. I'm going to come round this side of Eugene, like ASMR, and then I'm going to cast Toll the Dead on that one.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully bust it up, because if they're missing any of their hit points, I get to use a D12 instead of a D8.
So is that a Constitution or a Wisdom saving throw for that one?
That is Wisdom? Yeah, Wisdom saving throw.
They rolled a 12.
Oh, it is 12. Is that meets his beats?
Meets his beats, I'm afraid, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's like this kind of noise kind of that everyone can hear and this strange sort of distant murmuring. Like, I think, Aisling, you've not heard this before because I don't think you've used this spell yet, have you?
No, not this one.
No, so you've kind of this resonant whispering and then this dong, dong in the distance, like some sort of death toll. But the pixie looks around slightly confused, but doesn't seem to react to it.
Yeah, because it's not even half damage if they succeed, is
no,
it?
it's a cantrip. Chris is. You still do have your bonus action if you want to use it.
Yeah, I don't think I have much in the way of a bonus action. Yeah, because I've run out of spell slots. So I'm going to go back here again.
Pop up.
Well, hide behind me.
Well, I have
Love
missed
you,
this
Eugene.
well-oiled machine. That will make it Eugene's go.
Right, well,
Good. Hide behind Ash.
I'm going to hide behind. I am going to cast Ice Knife at 2nd level.
Ooh.
So that's a
Ooh.
ranged spell attack. At which one? The one that's closest to Rock, I think, because that's already injured, right?
That one is, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Yeah,
I made that one crispy.
Okay, so ranged spell attack.
Okie dokie.
What's your inspiration dice, Wayne? Is it a D6?
It is a D6, yes.
Oh.
Oh, okay, that's a 15.
A 15 will hit.
Hey!
So that is... Sorry, I'm just checking what it is at level 2.
No problem. So it's kind of Eugene kind of pulls this sort of crystalline ice entity and just flings it. It kind of strikes central on this creature. And then I think it explodes afterwards.
So that's 6 piercing damage, and then you have to make a dexterity saving throw to see if you avoid the explosion afterwards.
Awesome.
Nice.
24 to avoid the secondary.
Yeah, that will.
Yeah.
Eugene, was
dexterous.
that? Did you add the inspiration die for your attack roll?
I added it to hit.
To hit, yeah.
To hit, yeah.
Yeah.
So after your knife hits and it takes damage, there is a tiny mote of light that looks like a small version of the pixie that flitters from behind Eugene as if it was hiding behind Eugene and towards the pixie and speeds up as it does so, and it slams into the pixie, and the pixie needs to take a constitution saving throw, please.
Certainly. 15.
Oh, bollocks, it beats.
Looks very cool.
That was cool, though.
Yeah. Very cool.
So yes.
Eugene is impressed.
It was a 15, which means it saves.
And now I'm going to hide behind Aisling.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
God damn it.
It's cartoon sort of.
No, you go first. You.
Gonna run out of tower eventually.
We're so strong.
Yeah,
and powerful.
hide behind me now while I'm at the wall.
Excellent. That will make it their turn. So, I will. This one in front of Rock will just make a quick. Kind of has a think about what's going on here and decides its life is worth more than this food is, and will flit over the wall and away.
Beg your pardon. Did you say food?
What do you think those sharp little teeth?
They're
are
not
for?
here to make friends, are they?
Because I didn't realise they were going to try and literally eat us.
25, 30. One of them kind of flits in between one of the gaps in the rock, and you see it pull itself out and flies into the room. Kind of starts looking around for where these people are. This one will dive into Rock and try and bite you again. 13 to hit.
It's
Okie dokie. Doing 6 piercing damage, and I would like a Constitution save from you, please.
15.
15. You save. You feel the same sort of ichor, but your kind of strong draconic body kind of goes, oh no, I recognize this now, and resists the magic that seems to be flowing in.
I'm just going to scrape the black ichor that's on my arm off on the wall.
It does take a small chunk and a couple of scales off of your other arm, though. That one just run away. This one will flit into here, is looking about. And this one as well. Okay, that is their turn because they literally spend their action looking for you, like clambering through and looking for you. So that will make it Rock's go.
Right, so I need to do some measurements.
So Aisling, you're up next.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for my bonus action, can I just? I'm going to move. Actually, I can probably hear from there. I'm going to just say to Aisling, do you know what these creatures are? Do you know what scares them?
Let me ask a magical being that is the DM.
I'll allow
Do
it.
I?
Yeah, I will let you make a quick nature or history check, your choice.
It will be nature. It will not be good. It will be a 6.
6. Not in at the moment, and you're a bit panicked, and there's a lot of them like flapping around.
Yeah.
So.
I think my
Right.
answer's just like, ah!
Fair enough. As this one is next to me, and I can't really use my pistol at it. I shall reach down, take my rapier, and slice up as I unsheath my rapier.
Okay, no problem. Make me an attack roll, please.
That's an 11.
11 does not hit. It kind of flits out the way as you kind of swing past it.
And that is it, really. That's all I can do.
Okie dokie. Excellent. That will make it Ashling's go.
So this guy has taken some damage. Is that right?
Which one?
The one near Rock.
The one near Rock has not. You killed the one that had taken.
Oh,
damage.
okay. So all of them are fresh
They're all
pixies.
fresh as a daisy, apart from the fact they don't look like ones.
Yum. All right, I'm gonna traditionally Eldritch Blast the one in front of Rock,
Nice.
and it's gonna be the agonizing one as well.
Yeah.
Nice, dirty 20.
A dirty
Ooh,
20.
yeah.
Nice. Dirty 20 will definitely hit.
Good.
As your kind of weaved vine eldritch energy bursts from your hand. Roll me damage, please.
7 damage on that one.
7, does that include your charisma bonus?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
If you're doing it on the app, it will be. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. So you kind of just slams into it.
Oh no, I didn't add my agonizing. Sorry, that's 9.
9 damage. Yeah, that's better. I thought that sounded better.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it slams into the wall, kind of starts thinking about its options at this point. You kind of see it kind of look around where this strange magic came from. That will make it Eugene, your go.
Okay, we will magic missile. I'm going to send all 3 to the one next to Rock.
Okay, nice.
Nice.
4, 2, 3, 5, 9 points of damage.
Hey.
Describe your kill.
Oh
Yeah.
So I think we've touched on this before, but Eugene's magic missiles are kind of like bottle rockets. So he's like, he sets up 3 bottle rockets, magical bottle rockets, obviously, that all like kind of through the one does a little loop the loop, and just all simultaneously just, and there's like kind of some like firework-esque explosions. And yeah, the pixie catches on fire, I guess, and dies.
For a moment, you think this is a true pixie as it kind of brightly explodes in this dazzling display of glitter and fire, and then what's left of its charred corpse just kind of goes on the floor next to Rock.
God.
Ew.
So you've got one on either side at the moment.
Yeah.
I think Rock's reaction to seeing it burst into flames and drop is probably an instantaneous yes, and then well done, Eugene.
Compose yourself, Rock.
Amazing. So this one is gone. It is their turn. One will fly over the wall and attack the half elf. Looks delicious. One will fly over and bite the satyr, and the third will fly over and attack the dragonborn. And a fourth one appears over the wall.
Oh.
You've got
So
this guy.
many.
So many. So 20 to hit Eugene,
Yes.
doing 5 piercing, and I'd like a Constitution saving throw, please.
10.
10 and 4 necrotic damage.
Oh.
Sorry, how much was the previous damage?
9 in
So it's
total,
4.
5 and 4.
9 in total. Okay.
11 to hit Aisling.
Ha! Misses.
It scrapes itself up against the armor of Agathis and just can't make a purchase on your flesh. 23 to hit Rock.
Yes.
7 piercing, and can I have a Constitution save from you as well, please?
19.
You stave off any additional damage. That will make it Rock's go.
Okay. So I am...
Aisling, you're next.
So Rock is starting to get a little bit annoyed with them. So I am going to pull myself up to my full height and let loose my psychic breath weapon. And as I speak the word "no" at them, this projects forward as waves of sound that become psychic energy that damage them. And so I will do it so that it gets these 2, because that's all it really can get.
Yeah, that's fine to me. Is it a 15-foot cone for you at the moment?
Correct.
Okie dokie. Yep, you can easily get those 2. So there's the one next to Aisling and the one in front of you.
They need to throw a dex saving throw.
Cool. First one is 24.
Yes.
The second one is also 24.
Yes, but they still take half damage.
They still take half damage.
So let's see what we get. So they take 4 damage each.
4 damage each. Damage is damage.
Indeed.
So you kind of watch as these waves of psychic energy just burst out and kind of start shaking these 2 little fairy creatures, and you see them grab their heads momentarily, and little tiny trickles of blood, but they are not thrown too much by it. They definitely felt that, though. Aisling, or is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Rock?
No, that's it. That's all I can do, really.
Okie dokie. Aisling, your go.
I think I'm going to try blasting the one in front of Rock, because the one near me, because I've got my armor, if it does anything, it takes damage anyway, so...
Fair enough.
I'm going to try blasting the one near Rock.
Go for it.
What was your inspiration die again? A 6?
6.
Okie dokie. Nice, that's better. 18 to hit.
18 will definitely hit.
Amazing. 6 damage on that one.
Did you add your charisma modifier as well? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I only rolled a 2.
No worries. So it hits it. It definitely does take some damage, but not quite as much as you'd like.
It needs to throw a Constitution saving throw, please.
A Constitution? Okay, yeah, no worries.
Oh yeah, because I used the inspiration.
The same note appears from behind Aisling.
6.
It fails.
Yes. Oh my god, what happens?
So it takes additional thunder damage equal to the number that you rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die.
I rolled a 5.
5, nice.
Takes an additional 5 thunder damage.
So
That's
between the
okay.
2 of you, can you describe this kill?
Yeah! Okay, what does our combined magic look like?
I like to think that Aisling's Eldritch Blast caught it so that it hit it, and the pixie is just spinning in the air, totally disorientated. And then this little mote of light flies through the air and just speeds up and slams into it, and the pixie just goes into dust.
Delicious.
Yeah, perfect. I don't think I'm going to add to that visual. That sounds spot on for me. It explodes right next to you, leaving this little shower of pixie glitter.
I'm just going to yell, "Thank you!"
Thank you!
Amazing. Anything else with your turn, Aisling?
No, I'm good. I've not got much.
Awesome. And Eugene?
Okay, if I move away from the one next to me, it's going to get an attack of opportunity, right?
Most likely, yeah.
Okay. I think he would do that anyway. Bravely running away.
Oh.
And then I will cast Firebolt
Awesome.
at him.
Before you do, let me just make a quick attack against you.
Mm-hmm.
A 10 to hit.
No.
Scrabbles against this mystical armor you've got around, and you just kind of push it off and can walk away. Please, by all means, burn my pixie.
Firebolt. Oh. Well, it's a 10 to hit.
10 does not hit, I'm afraid. Kind of your normal fire comes through, and this time it's expecting it, and it just kind of dives out of the way as it kind of strikes the floor. Anything else with your turn?
No, that is it.
No problem. Their turn. This one will all the way down to Rock and try and bite the Dragonborn. 22 to hit.
Yes.
5 piercing damage and a Constitution save, please.
13, 14.
14 you save, so you just take the 5 piercing damage.
Good.
This one in front of Aisling will try and take another chunk out of you.
Okay.
Only a 9 to hit, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, sorry.
And his friend will also join in because you're easier. It looked like you're easier to bite than the big armored thing. 25 to hit.
Yeah.
6 piercing damage. Constitution
Okay.
saving throw, and I think they need to make, and then they take some damage from armor of Agathis as well, don't they?
Yeah, and is the saving throw for a magical effect?
No, it's a natural effect, I'm afraid.
Okay, no, it's a 16 to save.
16 to save, that's fine. So you just take the 6 piercing. And then...
Okay, and then they take... Ha! They take 10 frost damage.
Ooh. Oh, ow.
Yup.
Nice. Brilliant. Okay. That will make
Do you say something cool like, "Ice to meet you"?
Oh, no.
Oh! Cool off, pal.
Stay frosty.
Oh, I think I take psychic damage.
Oh, it didn't
You
take
took
long, did
disadvantage
it?
because you're the DM. You enabled this.
A DM is nothing if but an enabler.
This is true.
Rock, what would you like to do with your turn, my friend?
Well, first I'd like to slap Aisling and Eugene for those comments.
I'm behind a
I mean,
wall.
you can use your mage hand if you really want to.
You're going to
it's
take
fine.
10 frost damage if you do.
I have a good memory. I'll wait till later. So I am going to yell over to them and just say, "Could you get this little beast off me, please?" And I'm also, as my main action, going to cast Shatter over here, where the other two are.
Yeah.
So that within that 10-foot circle, it catches the two of them, but not Aisling. It's a circle based on the point of the spell.
Okie dokie.
So I need both of those to please make a Constitution saving throw.
Certainly. 11 from the first one, and a 3 from the last one. It's about time my rolls turned. I knew I'd been rolling too high. It didn't feel natural.
They both fail.
They both fail.
So they take...
How the turns have tabled.
Boo, that's shitty. But they both take 5 damage.
5 damage?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 5 damage is still 5 damage, and particularly since it does actually off one of them.
Aha.
So how does this shatter take manifest?
You just see that this tiny little... They don't even see where it comes from. It just is this tiny little mote of green energy that kind of starts sparkling and then implodes, but it explodes without as much noise as you would think.
Yeah.
And it is more just, again, it looks like these invisible waves of energy that radiate from that point very quickly and very sharply.
kind of
that's how
like a
it impacts.
small one of those energy bursts from anime.
Yeah.
That sort of. Also takes a chunk of the wall out with it as well, which collapses.
Yes, that unfortunately is a side effect, but yes.
Throwing little stones and debris across the floor. Anything else with your turn?
Bear with. Yes. So as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself.
You cast Shatter, didn't you?
Yes. Oh, I can't do two
You
spells.
can't cast
Can I?
two spells, unfortunately, unless one of them is a cantrip.
Fair enough.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okie dokie.
Then I shan't.
Then you shall not. Aisling, what would you like to do?
Again, the one next to me just keeps damaging themselves, so I'm going to attack I'm going to blast the one next to Rock again. It's like, well, I'll leave you to it. I'm just
Actually, just looking at this thing going, no, go on, have another bite.
I dare you.
I dare you.
All right, I'm going to try and... Oh! As a nat 20.
No, natural 20, yes. Well, I'd say so. D10, isn't it? So you'll take 15, then roll the D10 again.
Okay.
For your additional damage.
Oh, that was a 10.
Oh my god.
25 damage.
No,
Wow.
Charlie.
Isn't it with my agonizing blast as
So
well?
that is with your agonizing blast because you
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's 25 damage in total. Charlie, describe your kill.
It's straight up vaporized.
Yeah,
Just gas turned into gas.
it's kind of like this whole sort of. You're used to your blasts by now. I think you're getting the hang of these by now, and you kind of unleash. And this has more power than you've had it. And you're not sure whether it's the frustration or something about this strange place that you're in, but you just see this burst, and this is not a reef of a vine like it normally is. This is a whole bushel of vines.
It's like a tree trunk.
Crash into this thing, and there is nothing of it left, except for, as it kind of fades away, a very surprised-looking dragonborn.
You asked me to get it.
You nearly took my head off.
Sorry?
Thank
Not
you.
sorry.
Amazing. Anything else?
She's just reveling in it. Ashling's chuffed with that.
Amazing. Eugene.
Actually, I feel like she sort of looks at the one attached to her leg and is like, "Do you fucking see that?"
Eugene, your turn.
Just gonna go for a good old fashioned fireball, I think. And that's an 18 to hit.
18 will hit.
And that is 1, 2, 10 damage. And that's 8 damage.
8 damage. And the last pixie that you can see is gone.
Oh, wait. That doesn't sound good.
I think that there's a moment where they're all kind of like all around, and I think it all sort of gets a little quieter, and you look at each other. 6 seconds pass, 12, 24. You're fairly certain that other pixies run away as well.
Yes.
Seeing all its mates get absolutely decimated and gone, nope, that's not for me, thanks.
Yeah. I'm good. I just need a real quick be right back.
Okie dokie. Well, yeah, we can, you want to pop away and I'll catch up with everybody else later. Awesome. So, you 3 of you are standing around in silence as you are kind of taking in everything that sort of happened in the last 5 seconds or so. Littered with these strange... No, they are pixies, but they're also not. There's something emaciated around about them, and their joints are all a little longer, and their nails a little sharper, and their teeth a little more wild, and their skin is pallid and just drawn.
Am I able to get a better understanding now? I'm not panicking.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make
Is it nature again?
Nature or history? I think
I'm going to stab one with my rapier on the end and kebab it and hold it out towards you to have a look at. What is it? What is this thing?
I'm going to take that sword away from you at one point. All right.
Certainly or not. Have a look at this. What is
I'm going to have a look at it, and it was a dirty 20. So.
Oh, nice.
A dirty 20. So, there is a curious thing about the nature of Fae. Fae are not mortal creatures. Even the satyr and elves are touched by this in a way. You are not from the material world originally. You all come from the Feywild and beyond. You are a little bit more alive than mortal creatures. You're made from pure wild energy, and that courses through your veins, and it's one of the things that makes you so different. It's one of the reasons that full-blooded elves don't need to sleep, why most Fey creatures are more resistant to certain types of magic, or innately are able to cast magic without even thinking about it. The problem is, sometimes it can have a corrupting effect. And if the wrong sort of magic is brought to bear on some of the weaker Fae, they can be turned into something that's not undead, but about as close as Fae get to them. As you're kind of looking these over, you're like, oh, you've heard stories about this. You remember at the orphanage, this was one of those sort of scary stories. It's like, you be a good Fae or you'll be turned into one of these. These are cadaver sprites. They're not undead, but something so has corrupted their core magic and turned them into something very much resembling zombie sprites. They devour flesh and they search battlefields looking for creatures that have passed away to consume.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I do.
Terribly pleasant.
I do know what that is. I honestly didn't think that they were necessarily real, but yeah, it turns out they are, and they're not good. So.
Well, I'm going to point at the hole in my arm that one took out and go, yes, I can see that they're very real and not good.
Yeah, well, we know that now, don't we?
They're horrible little beasts.
I think with your 20, you would also know that it's not natural for them to attack like this unless they are particularly hungry, like they haven't had an opportunity to eat for a long time. They're carrion scavengers. They're not hunters.
Okay, I'll tell Rock that, and Eugene now that Eugene is back.
Did you get most of that, Theo?
Yeah.
Cool.
Rock had one of the sprites on the end of his rapier, so...
Oh, yeah.
Pretty
I
close.
skewered it and held it out towards Aisling to have a decent look at.
Why are you always picking up dead things with that?
That's what I'm... right?
What am I
That's why I said I'm going to take it away from him.
Well, I'm certainly not picking it up with my hands. So there. And then, now that you've had a look at it, I am just going to flick it over the wall.
Oh! Like one of those sticky toys that sticks to the wall and then, like, flops down.
No, I went over the wall.
Make me a quick dex.
Oh, no!
Roll. Dex, yeah, with your proficiency, I think, because you're quite good with ranged stuff.
Does this count as a ranged weapon?
There we go, 14.
A 14? Yeah, you get over the wall the first time. It doesn't get messy and nasty.
Also, I intentionally aimed away from them because I have a habit of missing
Thank
things.
you.
Well, not that I'm sure this comes as any surprise to anyone, but between the alpha fish attacking in a group and these attacking live things and everything else in this place, it's clearly not... Wherever we are seems to be a little bit unnatural.
Everything's a bit broken.
Yeah. Well, if nobody minds, I wouldn't mind having a little sit down.
I could do with a nap. Yeah.
Just because I'm a little tired being, this close to death.
What time of day? Can we tell what time of day it is?
Well, actually, it was one of the
We
reasons
were like
you...
finishing.
Sorry, go on.
We were like in the middle of finishing a long rest, weren't we?
You were setting
It was
up
my
for a
watch.
possible long rest, because actually what you'd stopped to do was work out if time travels in the normal way.
That's right. Okay.
So, Aisling, you were in the middle of setting up some, basically like a sundial or a moon dial in this particular instance, and some markers just to kind of work out if time does seem to flow. And I think now is a good time for you to wander back over. I have a quick survival check off of you just to make sure you set it up right. Didn't put it somewhere that it doesn't actually work.
23.
23. Perfect. You go back to it. You're kind of like, considering you kind of rushed this because you were in the middle of finishing it when you noticed Eugene had fallen asleep. Sorry, it was Eugene that got distracted by reading a book, not fallen asleep. You kind of put it all out and kind of look at it and just like, oh yeah, time has passed since we got here. It's like it's been a good solid hour since we first arrived, because you were only taking small shifts at that point in time. So by this logic, providing day-night cycle works normally, in 5 hours it'll probably be sunrise.
Okay.
You guys could probably get a rest, finish off a long rest, and kind of start again in the morning. I mean, technically, you've not been very awake. You've only been awake 3 or 4 hours since you arrived. But
It's been a bloody difficult 3 and 4 hours.
But a lot of you are bleeding right now, so.
And we have walked the coastline and into a forest.
And coastal walks really take it out of you, and you 3 in particular, because you've never done it before.
And I have hooves.
And you have hooves.
And you have hooves.
This is Sandy. I have hooves.
So it's up to you guys. If you want to have a long rest here, you are more than welcome to do so.
I think that's a good idea.
It gives us a chance to gauge what's going on as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yay.
So I think you still got your adventurous supplies, so you can set up a campfire and things like that, and just eat some rations and get yourself all settled up and prepare any spells, heal any wounds, bind any bleeding, and that sort of thing. So you guys can all take a long rest.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to do anything in particular overnight? Any conversations you want to have amongst yourselves?
I think I'm going to be removing the pixie bodies from where we're sleeping.
I'll help.
I'll be using Mage Hand to do that. I ain't touching.
I'll come along and
because
just
you don't have a
them.
rapier to skewer them with?
Yeah. You come along and get as many as you can on the sword.
Like a pixie
And
kebab.
then flick.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll use my mage hand to scrape them off the rapier.
Oddly enough, not a lot of ichor or blood.
I'm still using the mage.
Yeah, that's more than fine.
Yeah.
So you guys probably deposit them. Have a quick investigation check off of Aisling and Rock whilst you're out there.
Okay. Hey, 17.
17?
Investigation.
Yeah.
You said?
Yeah.
12.
12, okay. I think both of you do notice. You kind of look over to where the body that Rock flicked out should be, and it's not there. You can see the impact where it kind of landed in like some like light grass, but it looks like it's been dragged away.
Oh.
Well, you did say they eat carrion, didn't you?
Yeah, but each other?
Well, if it's meat and it's dead, I can't see why they wouldn't.
Oh.
Vultures would eat other vultures, as would other...
What's a vulture?
They're from a planet I heard about.
There's vultures in this world.
Well, it's your world, I don't know.
Yeah, it's vultures. Vultures survive. They're flying.
Fair point.
It's sea life you
Yes,
have a
sir.
bit of a shortage on.
So those nasty little things probably took it away and ate it. I mean, they did look a little sort of skinny and malnourished.
Well, I mean, like, it was pretty desperate of them to go for us. So they mustn't have had anything to eat in a fresh minute.
Which is also curious, because if they're here, why are there not other things that perhaps die naturally?
Can I do like a quick perception check, see if I can hear any wildlife or bug noises or anything?
Yeah, go for it.
That's 24.
24. Charlie with the big rolls. Yeah, you can hear in the distance. You can hear like crickets and some night birds, and you hear an owl shout at one point. So there's life. There's still life around here. Seems to be acting normally.
I can like hear. There's animals. I don't know.
It's all very peculiar.
Bit spooky, innit?
Hmm.
Right, nap time.
Are you guys setting watches?
Yeah, I'll do first watch.
Okay.
Also, just so you know, I'm really relieved we had a long rest because it would have been massively embarrassing to have died from those pixies. Rock would be mortified on his
They were
deathbed.
pretty creepy.
Well, just so you know, I was on 5 hit points.
Yeah, that's fine. We had loads.
It's alright. Bit of Savlon, you'll be fine.
Because we're level 4. That's like a quarter of my total.
Oh no.
No, it's a bit more than that. But anyway, right, I'll take first watch.
Awesome.
I shall sit near the fire with my back to one of the walls or something and just watch the fire and keep a very close lookout.
Make a perception check for me.
Oh yeah, natural 20.
Nice.
Hey.
I think it's getting towards the end of your watch, and you can hear these two softly breathing, mumbling around and in their sleep and things. And just off the edge, you can hear, probably a little alarmingly, you can hear a small gnawing sound. About from the direction where you guys dumped the fairy bodies.
Oh.
It's what I would expect.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. This is how they exist, so...
Yeah, exactly. They've taken it away and they're eating stuff. As long as they're not eating me, I don't care.
Think of them as fey dustmen.
I'd rather not think of them at all, to be honest.
So they have like little high-vis jackets and everything while they do it.
Next time they will.
That means perception rolls have advantage.
Yeah.
Because they're wearing their high vis. Yeah, damn right.
Right, absolutely. Beyond that, you don't really hear anything. Who are you waking up for second watch?
I don't know who's taking second watch.
I'll do it.
Okay. I will go over and gently wake Aisling.
Okay.
Shake her very gently.
Shake
From
her
the
very
top half, because the bottom half I might kick out like a donkey.
Exactly. I mean,
the question is,
if I was approaching, if you were sleeping, that I couldn't approach the top half, I would probably just sort of grab a stick and poke you with it till you woke up. But
Throw something.
I'm going to go over and gently shake you to wake you up.
Okay. Okay. My turn. All right.
Just.
Did you see anything?
No, but I definitely heard those little bastards chewing on each other out there. So keep an eye.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Rock will head to go and get a couple more hours sleep and On passing Eugene, Rock will make sure that Eugene is covered with the blanket, and then go and sleep.
You curl up. Aisling, is there anything you want to do on your watch whilst the other two are asleep?
I'm keeping an eye on the moon dial just to see if it's because we got that time passed normally, but we don't know if time runs steadily. So I'm making sure that it's the same period of time passing, and keeping a close eye out for things that move because of that invisible one.
So make me a perception check, and then make me a survival check with advantage.
Okay, cool. Perception is 15.
Yep.
Survival 16.
16. Time seems to run exactly the same as where you're from. So the moon moves at a normal pace. The moons, I should say, move at a different place. One of them is exactly the same pace as the one you're used to. The other one moves much faster. And it isn't actually that long before it disappears from view. And you imagine, you kind of like estimate if it cycles at that speed, you'll probably see it again tomorrow morning, mid-morning-ish.
Cool.
The watch is very quiet. You are sort of settling in, and towards the end, you do hear some scuffling around and some slight dragging. But you kind of get the impression that now they have something to eat, the cadaver sprites will leave you alone, because you're far too much effort, and that's not how they operate. You're just about to wake Eugene for their part of the watch when you hear like a distant murmur, something slightly familiar to it. Almost like a voice just on the back of your mind, and it sounds like broken. So from our perspective in the modern world, it sounds like broken static, like someone trying to communicate with you but not connecting properly.
Okay, I'm gonna look around because I don't know whether this is real life or in my head.
You look around and it definitely feels like it's in your head.
Okay, I'm gonna try and sort of, in my head, the way I would talk to Alabaster, just be like, hello?
And then nothing.
Ooh. Okay. God, can't I have one peaceful watch? Right. I'll wake up Eugene.
Yeah. I think from Aisling, you're getting used to this idea that you can communicate with your patron directly, and it feels like there's something. You can still access your powers, but now you're thinking about it. It feels like there's something stopping you from reaching Alabaster.
He did say, didn't he, that
Yeah.
it feels a bit strained.
It's almost from a, yes, I say, it sounds like he's out of signal area.
Okay. Slightly concerning. Aisling doesn't like that because she's got used to him being there. But yeah, she's not going to mention it. She's just going to wake up Eugene.
Eugene, your watch. Very exciting life of adventure that you wanted, and now you realise you have to sit up when you want to sleep and pay attention.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it is your first time.
My first watch.
Have fun, Eugene. I'm gonna go here and sleep.
Okay.
I didn't see anything, by the way. They were just making gross noises still, but I didn't see any of them.
What, they're still out there?
Well, they're like chomping on each other because they eat dead things. But I think they're like, that's got them entertained for a bit. So
Yeah, okay. As long as they're not going to
Yeah.
chomp on us, I suppose. Fine.
I don't think so.
I love that. Actually, like, there's things out there. They're eating each other. Anyway, have a nice watch on your
Good
own.
night. Night.
Maybe Eugene can just hum to himself so he doesn't have to hear the devouring of tiny bones.
Yep. I would like a perception check off of Eugene for your watch.
18.
18. You do hear a little bit of movement. It dies down relatively quickly, and the rest of your watch is very quiet. As the sun starts to crest over the top of the tree line, you start to hear the night birds die away, replaced by a beginning of morning chorus. You are able to complete your watch with no problem. What I would like from all of you, though, is a charisma saving throw as you sleep.
Is it a magic-y thing?
It is, and you may have your advantage to resist it.
Okay, good.
Charisma saving throw, yes.
Charisma.
Didn't need it. I got a nat 20, so
Perfect. What did you get, Eugene?
7.
21.
21. So we're going to start with Aisling. So last time this happened, while Aisling was sleeping,
Oh no.
you were remembering a negative event. I would like you to describe something from Aisling's memories that is a really positive, like something that really lifted her up and made her feel perfect and wonderful and big and part of the world.
I think it was when she was like a teenage goat woman, and she did some of her first exploring when she first realized she liked exploring and mapping and figuring things out. And I think she was still at the orphanage, and she found this clearing in a forest, and she had the botanist who worked at the she was just a kid. Sorry, I just saw that thing in the chat. That's pretty good. Take pun damage. The botanist the botanist/gardener who worked at the orphanage had always told Aisling about this really rare plant that they hadn't been able to find for years and years, and they're pretty sure it was extinct. They're pretty sure it's gone. And in this clearing, Aisling found a teeny weeny sapling of one of them, and she was so friggin' excited, and she got like a little bit of her parchment and ripped it up and scooped it up and put it in a little thing, kind of like that bit in Wall-E when he picks up the little plant. And she picked it up and she sort of tied it up and made it all safe, and it was in a bit of parchment that had map on it, so the thing it was bundled up in had loads of drawings over it. And she sprinted back to the orphanage and gave it to the botanist, and the botanist nearly cried. They were so excited that this plant was back. And then the botanist was able to bring back the population of that plant. So I think that was one of Aisling's happiest.
And I think those beds are still named Aisling's nursery to this day.
Yeah.
As an appreciation for the wonderful thing that you did and the thing that you saved that everybody thought they had lost. And this herb is actually a medicinal herb that is commonly used amongst the Fae. And they have thought that with their connection to the Feywild gone, that it was gone with it. But now they're able to trade it. And it's one of the things that has helped that, particularly from where you came from, the Fae survive better. As you are remembering this, you feel something clawing at the edge of this memory, trying to put its hooks in it, trying to take it from you. And this is just before you wake up properly. And then you hear a very familiar voice. Oh, no, 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 no. She is mine. This is ours. You do not touch her. And a small little hand is in yours, in the memory. And you look down. You can't see who it is, but you can see a small silhouette coming out from by you, and you know that you're not alone. And this presence is forced away by something more powerful than it is. Rock, last time we investigated a positive memory, something that defined the wonderful, whimsical character that we have come to love. But not all of Rock's days have been good. Some of them have been incredibly dark. I would like you to describe for me now one of those moments where anger or sadness defined the man that Rock would become.
The memory that's playing in Rock's head is a memory of Rock being a young dragonborn, but old enough to kind of be starting to get to know himself and know who he is. And it is a very sort of short memory, but it's a memory of being in the sort of staterooms and hearing his parents having a conversation. And it's of hearing them talk about him and the very sad realization that his parents didn't really know him and he couldn't really share himself with them. And a feeling of being trapped because he could hear them talking about what his whole life was going to be and how it was all already planned. And it was a feeling of being trapped and not having any choice or any say in what happened to him and what his life was going to be like. And it's a feeling that is of like claustrophobia, of being suffocated by where he was. And that memory has a lot of sadness because it was when Rock realized that he would not be able to stay in that happy kind of world of his family and where he was if he wanted to pursue his own dreams.
A similar feeling, something greedily trying to pull this memory away from you, take this part of you for itself, just hooking its claws in the fabric of your mind in some way or form. And then a familiar sensation. A hand. A large, warm hand of someone that you hold very dear. Someone who was there and listened to you during this time. A form that is bigger than you, just holding you close at a moment where you had this realization and finally found someone to talk to. And with that strength, you're able to shove this feeling away, this intrusion away from yourself. And you manage to retain what is yours. Eugene, I am very sorry. Like Rock, this is a memory that defines you, but it is not a good memory. It is one of either anger or sadness or frustration. Would you please share with us what the memory is?
I think the memory that Eugene is replaying is one when he was like a young teenager, and his father is a very famous and strong and brave adventurer, and as such spent a lot of his time away from the twins where him and his family grew up. And one of the rare occasions that he was back visiting, he came with his band of adventurers that he often went on adventures with. And Eugene, I think, has kind of stayed up and like kind of crept to kind of not spy on, but like kind of bask in their kind of storytelling and drinking and like just kind of marvel at adventurers and kind of see them. And I think he overheard a conversation that he probably wish he hadn't, in that his father was kind of saying that he wished that Eugene was more brave and more strong, and he worried that he would never be able to stand on his own 2 feet and protect the people that he loved. And I think that is Eugene's kind of core fear, is that he's not good enough or strong enough to protect the people around him when it comes down to it. So I think this is like that real feeling of like shame and kind of, yeah, that like reinforced his own fears about himself.
As you're having this memory, as you're reliving this moment, you feel something behind you, something delighting in the misery that you had in your life, something ancient and hungry, and it starts pulling at that memory, and when you wake up, it is gone. You still have some resentments towards your father, you still have that very complicated relationship, but that core moment is gone. And there's just a bit of a fog over you. It's not, you're not you, you're still Eugene, and you still feel like it, but it's like something important is just not there anymore. And I think that is a perfect time for us to have a break. So
and a cry.
And a cry. So
A small cry. I'm just gonna.
Remember, crying is actually a free action, not a bonus action, as I stated earlier.
Sorry.
We will be back in about 10 minutes, so about 25 to. And we encourage you to all grab a drink, have a bio break, stretch, cuddle your loved ones before someone steals your memories of them. It's horrible.
And check out all the cool people in our interval video.
Yes, and please step by for our interval video. We've got some really cool people, including some people who might actually be in chat at the moment.
Yes.
Please share your love with them, and we will see you in 10 minutes. Thank you very much. Theo, I am so sorry. And we are back. Hello, hello. We are absolutely refreshed and bio-breaked and everything, and we hope you all are as well. Thank you, Robin. I will pass that on to him when I talk to him next. He is an amazing artist, as are so many of the people that we kind of have the honour of sharing our airtime with. These people included. But yeah, he's a lovely guy too. So any love you guys can throw him, I'm sure he would appreciate it. So before we went to break, our party, having defeated some cadaver-based pixie shenanigans, entered into a long rest, each of them taking a watch. Aisling found herself slightly severed from her patron, the enigmatic Alabaster. Each of them had a dream of a past memory, something important that helped define who they are. And unfortunately, Eugene appears to have had that stripped away from him. Eugene was on last watch, so it is breakfast duty for Eugene. Do you wake the others up before you kind of break camp, or?
Yeah, I think he would wake them up first.
Amazing. So
For some assistance.
I actually think Rock would have woken up. I think his dream would have woken him up.
I think it's fair. Yeah, I think both of you actually could have woken up on your dream.
Cool.
So it's early morning and you can see the sun cresting, starting to come up into, like, it's probably about 7-ish, you would probably guess.
Does the sun look normal, or is it something horrifying?
Nope, looks like the sun.
I don't know.
Does it have sharp teeth? Is it trying to eat us?
Yeah, it is a
Yeah, is it
giant
trying to
baby
eat us?
head.
Yeah, I was going to say it's that baby from Teletubbies.
Teletubby's son.
Jesus,
Evil.
what a terrifyingly horrific thought. What monster would put that image on?
You have ended up in Teletubby Land. No, it is a
Just kill me
normal
now.
ball of heat and light that you have. No, it looks exactly like the sun you know.
Okay, good.
It has a similar trajectory. It's moving at the same pace. Apart from that second moon and the fact that you don't know what country you're on, you could very well be in your world, your normal world. All very interesting.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
You right? Did we have good sleeps?
Not my best night's sleep. I think you're having very elaborate dreams and yeah.
Yeah, I had a bit of a vivid one last night, but didn't have any flesh-eating pixies in it, so it was a win from me. How was your sleep, Eugene?
So I think we just established this before, but I don't remember anything, right? I don't remember having a dream.
No. You just feel a little off, not quite yourself, but it's nothing unusual, just probably stress. It's been a bit of a weird couple of days.
Yeah, nothing, no pixie dreams to report. Pretty average sleep, I guess.
Yeah.
That's good. Right, who's cooking? What's for breakfast?
The same thing that you had last night. Rations.
Yum.
Delicious.
It is your second day adventuring in the field together. And I think you kind of throw something together. Probably Rock and Aisling are probably slightly more experienced in this than Eugene is, and are able to throw together some bits and pieces.
I think I even quite like rations because I liked exploring. So when I have rations, it means something exciting is happening.
Yeah, I like that sort of association. Like things that you eat as a child that were just not actually that nice. They're just things, but you're like, I really love that. So yeah, I like that idea. So you throw together what passes as a reasonable breakfast from the rations you've got. I mean, none of you are chefs, so it's fairly just practical, hearty food. And today is yours. Remembering back to the previous day, or a month ago for those of us who live in real time, Rock had spotted a small village on past this tower, probably about the best part of a day's walk. And then beyond that, much further on, is a larger town, which looked like it was quite populous. Although you hadn't seen any people, it is the most likely place you were going to find them.
Did it have lights on and things? Because we looked at it when it was dark, didn't we?
I think there were some lights on from what I remember.
Okay, cool.
In both places, but not many. Not as many as you'd expect.
Okay. And I'm assuming, yeah, I think Aisling would have mapped the whole place that they've already travelled, so we have a fairly good idea of which direction we're going in now.
Absolutely fine, yeah. Is that your plan?
Yeah, what is the plan?
I think we should try and find the village. Perhaps someone could tell us a little bit more about where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was kind of hoping when we fall asleep we'd wake up and this whole thing was a dream. Turns out it's not.
No. Also, we should probably try and at least meet the people here and see what they're like. Particularly if someone's going to come along and just annex the island and claim it for themselves. If there are people here, surely they should have a say in this.
What if they're all like creepy beach gnome though?
I was going to say, I hope some of them are a bit more compos mentis than...
Yeah.
What was his name? Bartabas.
But I didn't think about that. But, well, perhaps we just do it sort of carefully when we get closer to the village.
All right.
And do we tell them that we're like... What are we going to tell people? Are we going to tell them that we're from some other land, realm?
Yeah, we could say we travelled here by boat because we noticed the island. I think that.
I mean, none of that's a lie.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, worth a try. And then they try and eat us. We take it from there.
Wait, you think they'll try and eat us?
I don't know. So far, the track record has been it's either weird or it tries to eat us. So it's a 50-50 split, isn't it?
I mean, the gnome didn't try and eat us.
He was weird, though.
He was a little odd. Or perhaps, yes, he was a little odd. Pleasant, though.
I mean, yeah. Useless. But pleasant.
Well, I'd settle for useless rather than eating my flesh. So
that is true. That is true. Should we get a wiggle on?
I suppose so, yes.
I don't really fancy waiting here until the pixies get rumbly tummies again.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, pick up. Let's go.
Cool.
And you back up, douse the campfire, make sure that you packed everything up, go over each other. I'm sure Rock reminds you all 2 or 3 times to visit a bush before you go.
Right, has everybody gone to find a bush?
And to make sure,
just in case.
Have you double checked that you've not left anything? Have you checked again?
Eugene does the pat down.
The patented pat method. You pack up, get yourself sorted, and start making your way. It's relatively easy. The forest is quite thick to start with. You're quite deep into it, but you using the tower as a base, Aisling is able to guide you further in, heading what you're fairly certain is north. Aisling, I will have a survival check off of you. You're not a ranger, but you're the closest thing we've got to one.
Yup. My survival's pretty good. Okay, 17.
17, that's enough. You're able to keep everybody heading north, come through the tree line, and you eventually come across a babbling stream. And it's here that you kind of notice something a little odd. You see a
Told you.
small dog, probably just kind of far away from the farmland or something like that. And they're sitting at the edge of the stream, and they're just patting it with their paw, as if they've forgotten what they're supposed to be doing with it.
You guys see that?
Yes. I mean, he's very handsome, isn't he? But what is he doing? I don't. I've had dogs. That's not normal. Although why that should surprise me here, I don't know.
Does the dog look like skinny or?
That dog looks fine.
Anything
relatively
bad?
healthy. Looks like
Okay.
it's kind of like a general sort of dog. It's kind of like slightly hairy.
Dog.
It's a dog. Yeah, it's not a particular breed or anything. It's just at some point it was various things in its bloodline, and it's about I'd say biggish, like not the biggest dog.
Not as big as a dog.
Yeah, about dog.
That's like Lola sized.
A little smaller than Lola, little
Okay.
shorter in the leg, kind of sort of a dun brown sort of colour with grey streaks coming through, and just kind of. No.
Does it
I'm going
notice us?
Nope.
No.
I'm going to take a piece of sort of pocket bacon ration out of my pocket.
Pocket bacon.
Pocket bacon is the thing.
One must always travel with pocket bacon. And I'm going to break a piece off and sort of throw it towards the dog, so near it. Near enough that I would think a dog would smell or hear that something has been thrown towards them.
There's a kind of like a moment, and like a spark, and there's like they kind of get up and they run around in an excited way for a second, and they chomp down the bacon, and then they kind of look at you, and they kind of start just walking towards you, and it's almost like they forget, and they just sit down again.
I'm going to take the other half of the bacon, and I'm going to sort of kneel down and hold the bacon out towards the dog.
As soon as it starts to smell, again, same thing, it kind of gets excited and tail wags, and it bounds up to you, and it's yapping until you kind of give it the bacon, and it kind of like bounces away, and then as soon as it loses sight of you, it sits down again.
Can I see if there is a collar on the dog?
There is a rope collar on the dog, so it clearly does belong to someone. It's the sort of thing you'd expect on a farm dog.
But there's no... Is there anything that indicates its name or who it belongs to?
No.
Can
Is
I?
Aisling able to piece together that maybe this dog's forgetting stuff? Like the gnome? Because Charlie's worked that out, but Aisling might.
Make an insight check. I think it's reasonable to assume, but let's make an insight check. Let's have a dice to tell some story stuff.
That was a nat 20
Ooh.
plus 6. So
Whoa.
So yes, I think
I'm on it.
there is a pattern here, and I think that Aisling can put it together. Theo, did you want to do something as Eugene?
Could I cast detect magic to see if there's I think he's wondering if there's some kind of spell that is making these things forget things.
Yes, you can.
It will take 10 minutes though.
You're going to do a
everyone. Is that
ritual
okay?
cast, so I don't
Yeah.
think whilst Eugene.
We have a dog. We can just play with the dog.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just going to sit down and pat the dog. I'm fine with that.
So it gets a little frustrating. So the dog, as soon as you kind of interact with the dog, they behave completely normally, and as soon as they lose sight of you, they just sit down. Every single time. And I think with your insight check, it's almost like instinct is kicking something alive inside, and as soon as they lose sight of the thing that has caused that spark, they don't know what to do with themselves.
Poor puppy.
Eugene, you finished your ritual, Minorly delayed slightly as Rock accidentally runs the dog over you at one point.
I'm trying to concentrate here.
Well, I was just playing and I threw something for it. It chose your direction. You were in its path. It's your fault.
As soon
He
as
kind of rolls his eyes and goes back.
carries on, yeah. As soon as the spell clicks, you get a sense. There is nothing directly magical about this dog or anything, any sort of enchantment that you can see on it. However, I would like you to make an Arcana check for me.
17.
17. You get tastes of evocation and illusion magic, and just tang in the air, and it's palpable. Like there's always a sense of magic in the air as it kind of is drawn into the natural world from the ways and the weave. And that's part of what you've learned as a mage, is that there's always this background magic, and it's actually that you pull on as a wizard. Unlike Ashling, who has it gifted by someone else, and sorcerers who have it innately in their body, wizards actually have to learn how to tug at what's there and put it together. It's stronger here. You can almost taste it. And as soon as the magic, it's almost slightly overwhelming. It's like opening your eyes into bright light. And it's everywhere. And it's really strong. And it's really hard to pinpoint where it's coming from or whether it is just everywhere.
Okay.
I think you have to drop your spell early because it actually becomes a bit of a headache.
Yeah. Got kind of that sensory overload feeling.
I think Ashling's sort of spotted Eugene wincing a bit. I'm like, hey, you alright?
Yeah, it's just the magic here is really strong, like everywhere. I
Oh,
wonder if that's what's causing things here to be a little weird.
Have you been anywhere else that had this kind of level of ambient magic?
Not like this. Like there's normally a certain level of like background magic, but yeah, this is overwhelming almost. It's definitely strong here.
I mean, we are on an island that just appeared a few short days ago, so we don't. It could be anything, really. It couldn't.
Yeah, it's hard to tell where it's coming from, if there's like a point of origin or if it's just kind of everywhere. But I don't think anyone cast a spell directly on the dog, which is what I was thinking.
Do you think maybe perhaps it's ill or poisoned or something?
could
the
I
magic?
tell if it has anything?
Well, no, the
'Cause I
dog.
got
The dog.
You can do a medicine or an animal handling check on it.
I mean, it looks okay.
I got a 17 for medicine.
A 17. As far as you can see, it's perfectly healthy, perfectly normal. It's not even malnourished. It seems to be well fed. It's just forgetting. It seems like it forgets every 5 seconds or so. Anytime it loses sight of the thing it's doing, it just seems to forget.
I think Ashling's giving it like a full vet check over like teeth, eyes, ears, paw pads,
Yeah.
everything.
Maybe it could eat a little better. Maybe it could exercise a bit more. But it's generally in really, really good health. Like
Same dog, same.
A mood.
A mood. That dog is a mood.
But that dog is my whole vibe right
Hey,
now.
we're not lockdown shaming this dog, okay?
Nah.
Ashling, you've got good eyes. Come and help me. Could I have a look around, Chris, and see if there is anything that indicates where this dog goes or comes from, so that if someone is feeding it, I can figure out, is there like a path where it goes home?
Oh, yeah.
I shall help.
Make a survival check, and if Aisling is helping you, you may do it with advantage.
Oh boy. Oh, that's nice. That's what's my survival? I don't think I've ever used it. Oh, that's not bad. That's a 21.
21, yeah.
Yeah, 21.
The most obvious place seems to be an almost natural foot trail that now you're kind of looking for it. You can see, which is clearly where people come back and forth quite regularly to get water from the stream or just to kind of walk through the woods. It's a first sign of proper civilization you've seen since the jetty.
Does it look like it heads towards the village, where we think the village is?
Yes, looks like it's come from the village, and looks like it's well trod from years of use.
Perfect.
And you can't see any tracks from the dog itself, but you pretty much estimate that it probably comes along that dirt track. Probably, if it's here by itself, it probably knows it well enough from coming here a lot with its humans.
Well, at least we're on the right path. Do we leave the poor little guy here, or?
I mean, he looks
How much
fine.
pocket bacon do you have?
That's true.
Probably
Roll
not
for pocket
enough.
bacon.
Not enough for a journey. Although if we keep his attention, he seems to be rather friendly and approachable. But I don't know. He's not. I don't know. He's not my dog. If someone else knows he's here, perhaps they're coming back for him or something.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be going anywhere. If we go down there and someone's like, I lost my dog, we can be like, he's over there.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps when we get there, we can ask people if anyone has lost a dog of this description.
I'm going to leave a ration pack with the dog.
And you bring out some like dried beef and stuff like that, and just leave it for the dog. And I think when it catches sight of it, it kind of and then kind of like looks up to you, and then kind of looks back and just forgets and sits down again.
Rude. Okay. All right. Well, he's happy. Let's go that way.
Okay, I'll give him a last little scratch.
He
Bye,
his tail
little
wags and he licks your fingers. Kind of nuzzles in a little bit for and then kind of like turns around to kind of let you get to its butt, and then sits because he's lost sight of you again.
If he doesn't have an owner, I think we should take him with us.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, mark this on one of your nappy things.
I make the
Dog
most
here.
important,
yeah.
dramatic little marker on the map. Be like, dog here, don't forget. Loads of drawings, loads of arrows.
Good. All right. I feel slightly better about leaving him here now.
So, what's the plan? You can carry on towards the village.
Yes,
I think so.
So you keep on walking, leaving the dog behind, and you kind of get to the edge of the woods, and it gets much thinner. And you break out into what looks like recently ploughed fields. And as you come out, you can actually see the village. And it's not the biggest village in the world, but you would probably guess it probably houses about maybe 150 to 200 people. Small regular buildings, a large sort of chapel stroke municipal building, which is probably where the village elders meet up to discuss what they need to do. Some farmhouses dotted out further away, and you can clearly see from where you are what is definitely an inn, which is probably other than the farms, it's probably the village's main source of income. Sorry, excuse me. It's probably going to take you about an hour to walk there from here. Closer is a number of farmers' fields, one of which has 3 figures standing in it. As you get closer, you see that they all look like they're farmhands One of them is a Swazi human woman wearing like very light cotton overalls. She's holding a hoe in one hand and just absent-mindedly just looking into the distance. Next to her is a half-naked half-orc who is pulling, like is tied to like a manual plow, and again just looking in a completely different direction. And the third one is a human male, slightly smaller, who is standing with a seed bag, walking where it looks like he was walking behind the orc, and again staring in a completely different direction. All of them completely blank.
Are they?
And they're all
doing
completely
anything?
still.
All completely still. Breathing, from as you get closer, you see they're breathing normally. They occasionally blink, but they're just staring.
I feel like I whisper to Rock and Eugene, like, oh God, it's this again.
Should we try and talk to them?
Have to try.
Perhaps, well, yes, I think we should try. They may be able to tell us something. I mean, the gnome wasn't particularly engaging, but he did give us some information.
Yeah. Okay, which
Right.
one's closest to us?
I'd probably say the half orc is closest. He's kind of like almost like he was walking towards you, ploughing the field.
I think Eugene heads towards the half orc. Eugene? Yeah, I'm deciding what you do, Eugene.
I can say, all right.
Aisling heads towards
Go on,
the
Eugene.
half orc.
Off you go.
Yeah, go on.
This is
After
the tower
you.
again, isn't it? You go first.
Yeah. Sorry, Eugene. I suddenly transmogrified into you and then turned back into Aisling again.
Wow, this place is weird.
Yeah. Okay, so Aisling goes over to the half orc.
You wander over to the half orc, kind of get all in his face.
And I will head over as well, but keeping some distance.
Hi.
Absolutely nothing.
Eyes not even moving? Like, not
Just
even looking?
occasionally blinking.
Ooh.
I think Eugene would
Ash.
remember what happened with the gnome and cast Mage Hand and like give him a tap on the shoulder.
A tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Make me a spell attack roll. You're not actually attacking, but I just want to see if this kind of has any sort of effect.
22.
It does indeed. Aisling, you have to leap back as the orc suddenly just kind of blinks for a second and then just starts moving forward with the plough.
Oh,
Oh. Sorry.
yeah. Hello? Hi.
No response, just kind of, and it probably goes about a good 10, 15 feet with the plough and then stops. And then kind of steps back up and just with the same look.
I'm going to use my mage hand and just tap one of the others on the shoulder.
Yeah, which one would you like to tap?
The woman.
The woman. Make a spell attack for me, please.
Bear with.
No worries.
What is my spell attack with? So it'd be 16.
16. Yep, it's enough. You tap this woman, and again, it's the same sort of thing. She just kind of seems to spring to life again, but there's no reaction or interaction with you at all. She takes the hoe, and she starts moving along the furrows that the plough have made, and she just kind of starts moving it into place, so like making it deeper and easier for whoever's coming along with the seeds to make sure they're in the right place.
And then does she just stop?
And again, same thing. Does about 5 or 6 strokes and then stops.
Right.
Okay. I don't think we're going to get anything out of these lot. At least the gnome spoke.
Yes. Why would he be not quite as distracted as them?
Eugene, when you did your like see what magic is about thing, was it the same level of magic everywhere, or did it feel like stronger in one direction? Because whatever it is might have been weaker where the gnome was.
Could I tell anything like that? I think it was just like everywhere, wasn't it?
You couldn't see the whole island, obviously, but it did seem to be fairly consistent, especially where you were looking, and you did sort of walk around a little bit with it before it became too much.
Yeah, it's not like it's coming from one source. It seems like it's everywhere. Maybe it's because they have a task that they were doing. So now that they've come to, they're continuing the task.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, all three of you could make a nature check for me.
Cool.
Because you're all actively thinking about this, I think that's fair.
Sure, why not?
Got 12.
Got 12?
16.
16. And Rock?
That'd be a 4.
A 4. He's a bright boy in his light. He's not a bright boy with thinks.
Oh.
I'm just standing poking one of them in the head.
He's not doing anything. Actually, after a little while, they suddenly start doing their activity again. Eugene, whilst you're sort of saying this, you and Aisling are having this conversation, you're going back and forth, you start thinking about why would the gnome not be able to talk, but these people can't. And it suddenly hits you. You remember that gnomes are naturally more resistant to magic than other races. So it could be whatever has affected them is just not taken in the same way on the gnome.
Okay. Well, I would relay that information to Aisling and Rob.
That makes a lot more sense now.
That would explain it. Well, perhaps there might be some other gnomes in the village.
Well, he did say he had a wife, did he not? I mean, she's not necessarily a gnome, I suppose.
That's true.
Presumptuous of me.
It is very, but it could be. Can I have a look with my incredibly in-depth knowledge, of course, of farming and the land? Can I have a look at the area around and basically try and figure out what I'm trying to figure out is if they're not moving, how long have they not been moving? Like, does this land look like it was tilled recently, or did they till this like 5 months ago and it's, you know, because you would be able to tell if the soil was still soft and turned or whatever.
Yep. I think a nature or an investigation check for that one.
Okay. About 14.
14? So you're not a farmer, you're quite right in that, but you have been through a lot of areas where a lot of farming does happen.
I'm not a farmer, but I have seen people farm.
I've seen people farm. And you're fairly certain this is what farming looks like. No, but
I am familiar with soil. I've heard of it.
I
have scraped it off my boots.
You can't tell. It's kind of those difficult things. You can't tell.
Sorry, I just saw Robin's comment.
How very dare you.
This seems like something the working class would do.
Yes, how much is a loaf of bread? Do people still eat that?
So you have a look around and you kind of get the impression this the farm has the soil has been tilled correctly, and it could be recently. You don't see any sign of growth or anything, and you expect if they did half the job before whatever happened, shouldn't there be more plant life growing further down? Or signs that it grew and then rotted away, or anything like that, and you can't see. It just looks like they literally was stopped. It's almost like someone took a painting and just made it whole.
Right. Well, now I'm even more confused because it appears like perhaps it's almost like time has stopped here, and yet we know by the moon and sun that time has not stopped here.
And even when they stop moving, they're still breathing. It's not like they freeze completely.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in this place. It's very peculiar.
It seems less like it's a time magic thing and more like these people have forgotten what they were supposed to be doing.
But does that mean that the plants forget as well? Is it all living things forget?
Well, the dog did.
The dog kept forgetting.
That's what the dog was doing too. Every time he wasn't looking at us, he forgot what he was doing and just stopped. A bit like the gnome.
Maybe whatever magic was used to bring this place to our plane, like the island just appeared, right? So someone must have made it, or something must have made it appear, and maybe that's what is affecting these people.
Yeah, maybe it's like
and
putting
dog.
something in an environment it's not supposed to be in.
So I wasn't going to share too much about this, but I had a terrible dream yesterday evening, as I explained. But as part of that dream, I had a nagging feeling that that something was trying to make me sort of forget or take away a memory that I had.
Oh.
So I
had like a intrusive feeling when I had my dream.
Yes.
But I haven't had any of that, so...
Yeah.
Well, perhaps that's because you're more magically adept, perhaps, than many of us. But that does make me wonder if perhaps these people just have had all their memories removed, or their minds sort of wiped or something, which is why they don't remember what they're doing.
Until they're touched, though. That's strange.
But then it's like only for a few seconds. And like, if I may, there's also been a bit of a signal loss when it comes to me talking to my pal Alabaster. Like, can't really talk to him.
Oh.
And I think he tried to yesterday, but it didn't really go through. So it kind of feels
that is a little concerning, considering that is where your magic comes from. Yes,
I can still do stuff though. Like, I can still do stuff, but it feels like he's real far away. It's kind of weird.
Maybe that's to do with the density of magic here.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Maybe it can't get through. I mean, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Ew.
Not literally, just kidding.
I don't know what that means.
Throwing ideas into the ether.
Very, very well. Why didn't you just say so?
It sounds like a magic thing. We're not very good at that.
Yeah, it's like a
Speak
fireball,
for yourself,
but really
actually.
gross.
Oh, that's
I'm going to take out my bar of soap and tell Eugene to wash her mouth out. Wash your mouth out.
Yeah, when I cast detect magic, it was almost overwhelming. Like, there was like this density of magic around. So maybe it's that
you've never encountered that before, anywhere.
No.
Well, it appears this island is new in more ways than they told us it was.
We're not getting paid enough to do this.
Well, we're not going to get paid anything if we don't make it off this place somehow.
Oh, good point. All right. Okay, so we're not going to get anything out of these three.
Doesn't appear so.
No.
I am slightly confused by the fact that they are not moving or doing anything if we don't touch them, and yet none of them appear to have wasted away.
Yeah, that's why
Well,
I
they
was
can't have been here for
confused
that
about
long,
the dog. Because the dog was fine.
Oh, well, wait a minute, though. But this island appeared... How long ago did this island appear, DM?
Best part of a week, not a whole week, but probably getting on to about five days.
Right, so they probably would not be standing in the middle of a field if they hadn't eaten for 5 days.
I mean, no. You'd think they'd be a bit dehydrated and skinny and dead.
Yeah.
But they're not.
So that theory goes out the window too.
Ugh.
Right. Well, I guess we should just move on to the village as we were going that way.
You stride on, leaving the 3 farmhands not doing the work.
Do you want to leave any pocket bacon with them?
No, I'll save that for the dog.
And you wander down in towards the village.
I'm going to go last, and as we leave them, I'm just going to rearrange one of their arms so that they're standing in bizarre positions, and one of them has got their face or their hand on their face, and see if they stay that way.
Oh, for God's sake.
You would, but every time you try to move them like that, they go into action mode and start.
Oh, for God's sake!
It's almost weird. It's like almost instinctual. As soon as you kind of start to move them around, they suddenly burst into I will farm.
But they still have no concept that there's another person there.
No.
Okay.
I mean, you could draw a mustache on them or something like that. They would probably.
I might use prestidigitation to just make a funny little moustaches. I'm going to give the woman a moustache, and the man I'm going to make little glasses on, and then I'll leave quickly before anyone sees.
Yeah. For the next hour, they have a moustache and a pair of glasses.
Beautiful.
You make your way towards the town, the small village. You get closer, you kind of see like a dirt track coming, which looks, you kind of estimate, probably goes around and cuts into the woods from another direction, probably heading towards the coast somewhere. And looks well tread and like purposeful, so almost like people use it probably to go through this village on the way to other places. As you get closer, you can see that there is a running stream. Not running stream, a small river kind of coming out the other side, which seems to cut across and go out the other way, probably. And from where you are standing, you can see some hills in the distance.
I think, sorry to interrupt, just as we're passing the stream, I am going to be like, that's moving. It can't be a time thing if that thing's going.
Well, no, I think we'd already figured that out.
And the stream earlier was moving.
Eugene figured it out. Also, those things at the beach, at the sea.
The big one.
The things that were moving. Yes, that was moving. Yeah. Which that weird little gnome said.
And the pixies were definitely moving. Don't forget.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but I thought perhaps because the pixies were sort of some kind of fey creature, perhaps they were exempt from the.
Yeah, why the hell didn't they forget what they were doing? That would have been convenient.
Well, perhaps perhaps they did. Maybe that's why they were attacking, and you said they don't normally attack live things. Perhaps that's why. Perhaps they've forgotten how they're supposed to behave.
I mean, they are also incredibly hungry, you thought. So maybe they haven't been able to
nothing else
feast
has been
on
hungry.
Dead for a while.
Ah, you see, and if there's nothing dead, then that would suggest that there's something stopping the natural sort of process of things, like time.
I'm sure we're having this discussion as we're walking, by the way.
And it's fine. As you get closer, you do see a large sign on the outside of the village which reads, "Welcome to Grey Ore."
Grey Ore.
And as you can see, that there is actually the river kind of gets quite wide next to the village, and there is a number of small jetties outside, and a number of boats, some of which are just kind of drifting, like they're tied off, and you can see people sitting in them with fishing rods.
Not this again.
And you see,
but there's no movement.
the boats are moving like normal.
People, I mean.
But the people are not moving, they're just sitting there with fishing rods.
Well, I think we know what to expect from that lot.
Uh-huh.
In fact, there's several people out and about in the street. There are men and women who are clearly doing washing down by the stream, who are just standing there with laundry in their hand. There's a small child on the edge who's got like a hoop and a wooden sword, and is just sort of standing idle, like kind of staring. You kind of pass a cat who has like sort of been interrupted in the middle of the wash, has one foot up like they do, staring.
I shall bend down and boop the cat on the nose. Boop.
It kind of and kind of starts to run, and then as soon as it loses sight of you, it sits down like the dog.
Right, well, at least we know it's consistent.
Can we see any gnomes?
There are a couple of gnomes. One of which is it's up on the roof, kind of sitting there with a hammer, just kind of looking at a tile in one hand. There's another one who is just standing next to a human woman, and their pose looks like they were conversing, but they're just kind of staring. She's staring right over her, and this female gnome is just staring right into her kneecaps. It's all eerie. It's all really quiet. And as you kind of make your way into the center, you do hear a voice. You there?
Oh my god. That scares the crap out of Aisling.
And you kind of turn around and you see a very large black female dragonborn with long curling horns and a long tail which twitches behind her.
Hi.
Chiridir.
Good day.
Chiridir, what are you two? Get in here, quick! Come quickly!
What? Oh.
What?
And she's standing
What's
near the entrance of the inn, and she's motioning for you to run over. And
I'm just going to look behind us to see if there's like something we should be running from.
Chiridir, come here quickly before it gets you.
What?
Who? What are you calling me?
You idiot! You know what you are. Come over here quickly.
Okay, Regine's gonna go in that direction.
Yeah, I think Aisling will scurry after them as well.
But I think you may have the wrong person.
Just don't question it. Just go.
come
This is
on.
the first person who's talking to us.
Right, fine. Come along.
Okay.
Right, what?
As you get closer, you realise she's literally leaning out of the door, holding onto the frame of the inn. And behind her, you can see a short woman who you quickly recognise as a halfling, who is wearing like an innkeeper's apron and things like that, like tight curly hair. And she looks concerned. She's also waving you in. Come on, my lovelies, you better get in quickly before anything happens to you.
Okay, thank you. Fine.
You're ushered in by this large dragonborn woman, and just as soon as you're in, she slams the door behind you and slides a bolt into place. And she kind of looks you over, and she goes, "Well, I mean, we don't have many Chiridir down here anyway, but I definitely don't recognise you." And she kind of looks at.
So, I beg your pardon, sir. Many what?
Chiridir, that's what you are. Where are you from?
I beg your pardon. I'm not a what? A Chiridir?
Chiridir.
We are adventurers.
She kind of looks at your bum for a second. No tail. Chiridir.
I beg your pardon. Do you mind? I'm just going to sort of fluff my coat so that she can't look at my bum. There is such a thing as politeness. My name is Rock, and these are my fellow adventurers. This is Eugene and Ashling.
The small woman kind of pushes forward and she just takes your hand gently and gives it a shake, and she goes, "Do not mind Riskarith. She's had a bit of a rough time of it. Ashling," and she kind of shakes your hand, and this lovely young half elf is Eugene, you say?
Eugene, but
I'm a tall fellow, and this is my.
You're adventuring.
You're adventurers.
You're who? Sorry.
Erda.
Yeah, what was your name again?
Erda tall fellow. You say you're adventurers.
We are. We came to this island on a job to discover the island.
Your island kind of...
Island? We're not an island, we're a country.
Very well, country, then.
You're in the nation of Derabad. Where are you from? I mean, your accent's very strange.
We did hear about Derabad. Would you mind if I ask you a very quick question? You both appear to be moving and not idiots, which so far we don't appear to have encountered anyone that has been able to do those two things unattended. What exactly is going on?
To be honest, we're not entirely certain, but you're the first people we've seen for a while from anywhere. So why don't you come in? I'll fix you some lunch and we can have a chat. How's that? I know you have a lot of questions, but right now just getting yourself settled and comfortable is probably a good place to start. Riskarith,
before you do that.
I know, Rob. Bear with me 1 second.
Do you have a dog?
What?
Do you have a dog?
Yes, I have Peter. And she points over, and there's a French bulldog curled up by a fireplace, who just kind of looks at you and just, and then kind of puts his paws.
It's just we encountered a dog, and I didn't know if anyone here perhaps had. Anyway, never mind.
Well, we'll come to that in a minute. I'm glad that you care about the dog, but there's other thing. Please go and take a seat. I'm going to get Riskarith just to make sure that everything's safe, and please introduce yourself to everybody in the main tap room. There's not a lot of us left, but there are a few people.
I was going to say, are there other people here, or is it just
a few? Just a handful that aren't affected yet. And she smiles and she gently pats Eugene's hand. It's all going to be all right, I think. I hope. And then she just kind of bustles off for a second, muttering to herself in halfling. Riskarith kind of starts checking doors and windows, and you do notice that most things are boarded up. The windows are open to let air in and light in, but they have heavy catches on them to be closed up. You walk your way into where the main tap room is. It's a large open space, as you would expect, like any bar. There's a number of tables. Most of it is really very clean, very well kept. There's a few damaged items and things, and it looks like people have botched together to repair rather than get them fixed properly. At one table and a booth at the far end is a older looking human woman with very dark, almost blue-black skin, slightly graying, tight curls. She looks very, very tired, and she's having a quiet but very furtive conversation with a young woman who looks like her but a lot younger, you'd say about 14, 15, a lot skinnier as well, who's just kind of jabbing into the table and just kind of making quite strong points, but in a very hushed voice. Next to her, sitting quietly with a book, is a young man that must clearly be her son, probably a couple of years younger. There is also a very dour-looking dwarf in very plain robes with what looks like a silver dragon painted on the front. And he's nursing a tankard. As soon as he catches sight of the three of you, and as soon as his eyes settle on Rock, his like this sort of like excitement for a second, and then he just settles down and like into himself, like he's disappointed to see Rock. Like it wasn't who he wanted. At the bar is a tanned-looking half-elf woman with dark hair, who is gently pushing an arrow round with one finger, and she kind of nods at you all as you come in. And she's wearing like hunter's gear, clearly a woodswoman of some kind. As you kind of take it all in, Erda appears beside you and goes, "Come on in, don't be shy. It's all fine." And just kind of guides you to a table. I'm sure everyone's going to have questions for you, but just give them some time. We're all going through a lot right now. And she pulls up a chair. She goes, "Right, well, I've got a lot of questions for you, and I'm certain you've got a lot of questions for me. So, my first one is, where are you really from?"
Ashling kind of looks at the two of you.
Yeah,
like,
Eugene
"Shall
does the
we
same. Like,
tell them?"
Well, we're clearly not from here. I'm terribly sorry to avoid your question for the moment, but a very quick question to you first is, whatever is happening here, is this a new thing that is happening? Because it appears we thought everyone here was affected by whatever is going on out there, but you are not affected. So perhaps you could just tell us that so that we can gauge the level of need and or danger before we answer any other questions.
And she smiles and goes, that seems practical to me. In answer to your question...
Rock looks offended at being called practical.
Well, to be honest, this room is protected from whatever. This building is protected from whatever's happening outside. He's sleeping at the moment, but we have a young wizard who managed to put up some wards that seem to keep it all at bay a little bit. But as to how long it's been going on, none of us are certain. A long time. We don't really know. We know we've been here a while, but we can't remember.
Well, that would be consistent with the concept of memories being lost that we have talked about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wish I could give you some numbers. I really do, because we'd like to know ourselves, but it's been... And it feels like she has the words almost at the tip of her tongue, and then as soon as they come to saying them, they just die away. I can't really sort of put a number on it. I keep trying. A long time, I think.
I'm just going to reach out and put my hand on hers and say, is it getting worse, even inside here?
And she smiles. She goes, even in here, it's getting worse. And there were more of us in here before. One by one, we're slowly going.
What have you done with the ones that were here?
She smiles. She goes, some of them I've given rooms to, just made them comfortable. Some of them we've let outside whilst they are still able to move about. Let them find their own space.
I'm just going to, without thinking, say to Ashling and Eugene.
Does everyone remember who they are? I know this magic is strong here.
I'm forgetting.
I'm Eugene. You're Rock.
Yes, Rock is just going to turn to Eugene and Ashling and say, "Oh, see, I told you they wouldn't be eating them."
Eating them? No. That's the weird thing as well. I mean,
But yes, it would be a weird thing.
We don't get really hungry or thirsty. I mean, we eat and we drink, and she kind of motions over, and Anna does quick forages, only quick forages, because the longer we're away, the more dangerous it is, to try and make sure we've got stuff. But it could have been, I don't know, nothing changes.
Well, we have encountered a few people out in the fields who I am pretty sure are not eating and yet are still looking fairly healthy.
And she kind of leans up, and she kind of points out the window. You see that man there? She says in a very quiet voice. You look out, and there's a human man who is dressed very similarly to Anna, but with slightly different sort of clothes and more traps around him. That's Anna's partner, and he's been like that for a long time.
Is Anna the huntress?
Yeah. And that's her friend. We've all lost.
How long was he in here with you?
Yes.
And have they been in here at the same time?
They both came to us as soon as they noticed something was wrong.
So then why has he changed and she has not yet?
I really couldn't tell you, unfortunately. You see, I actually know more about this than I ever assumed I would do in my life, to be fair. Not exactly. And she kind of looks at the three of you. She goes, I kind of hope that you would have more answers, to be honest. It's more adventurer type things. I mean, forgive me for guessing, but Eugene, are you some sort of wizard?
Yes, I am.
He's a very good wizard.
Maybe.
I mean, I would.
Maybe at least
you mentioned there. You mentioned there was a young wizard.
Yes. Well, I should probably introduce you to him. He's in his room having a rest at the moment.
I'd like to speak to him when he's awake. You don't have to wake him on my account.
Well, she kind of looks over and she goes, Anna, dear, would you be an absolute gem and go and get greets for us, please? I'm sure he's rested enough and he'll want to meet our friend here. No, she slowly gets up, and you can tell it's there's a sluggishness to it, like a sadness in her. And she just nods, and she barely says anything, just kind of walks out of the room towards some stairs that go up to the back of the inn. I have a feeling that Anna might be next.
Well, we'll see what we can figure out, and perhaps help if we can figure anything else. Excuse me one moment. I'm just going to take Eugene and Aisling aside for a second. I'm just going to say particularly to Eugene, to say, you've read a lot about the magic things, and I'm sometimes a little new to some of the spells. Do you think there is any point in trying something like the Lesser Restoration spell and see if it perhaps does anything?
I mean, it's worth a try, right?
Well, it's either that or I can make someone invisible, but I don't think that's going to help, to be honest.
No, probably not that helpful right now, but yeah, I don't know if it will work or if it will help. I mean, that kind of spell is not really my area of expertise, but I would say give it a go and see what happens. It's not going to hurt. Well, hopefully.
It's more divine magic than arcane, that sort of thing. So.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's hear what the other wizard has to say, and then maybe I could try that if I don't know what else I could do, to be honest.
While the three of you are having a aside, you can see that the halfling has gone down, and she's just busying herself behind the bar. It looks like she's put together a platter of cold meats and cheeses, and a couple of glasses of like sweet wine and things, and she's just generally keeping herself busy and trying to, almost like she's excited to have new faces and someone that she can actually help and serve. And she's putting it all together, and as soon as you sort of come back, she's prepping it to come over, and she goes, "You must all be famished." Well, I hope so, at any rate.
Well, I can certainly eat. It does look lovely.
Are we getting hungry?
Make an insight check on yourself.
Into my own hunger.
Yeah.
Good question. I'll do the same. I know nothing.
You know nothing.
21.
21?
Oh. 24.
24. Now you think about it, you went through the motions, but you haven't felt hungry. Like, everything worked normally, everything was fine, but you have not felt hungry since you've been here.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like when she asks, "You must all be famished," Aisling does take a beat, and she's like, "Yeah, wait."
No. I mean, if someone put cheese in front of you, you'd eat it, though, right?
I mean, I'd eat it.
I mean, there are only 4 stages to cheese.
Rock just thinks her platter looks quite nice, so he's eating it because it looks nice.
Yeah.
He hasn't noticed he's not hungry.
Cool.
So you're going to tuck in. I think she looks relieved that you're actually just tucking in and eating. I think you kind of get the impression, and just a broader impression, that probably if you don't need to eat, some of these people have probably stopped.
Well, yeah. And I am terribly sorry. I know we probably have hundreds of questions and you're probably very tired, but could I just ask another question? Do you remember if this started with one person and then grew? Because I know you were aware that the people in here have been leaving, and so you have some concept of time, but do you remember it happened all at once to everyone, or if one person started first acting like this, anything? No.
It was, and she looks like she's about to say something, and she's like, "I had those words, and they're gone. Sorry, forgive me. It gets difficult."
There's nothing to forgive. This is a very unusual situation. I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to upset you.
Oh no, you haven't upset me. Not at all. No, these are really sensible questions, and I really wish I could tell you more information, but as I say, those sorts of details, they're just gone. It's like I know they're there, and I reach for them, but they're gone.
Well, don't worry yourself about it now. The food is lovely. Yes, very nice. You've obviously looked after everyone very well.
You can stay here as long as you like. It's not perfect, but it's at least safe. And you can at least hold on to yourself. Everyone is welcome here.
Thank you.
And she kind of she pats Rock's hand gently. She goes, "And don't worry about Riska. If she'll come around. Some of them here. They hold on to grudges a lot harder than your people do." And she kind of gets up and wanders back behind the bar.
I just go look at Aisling and GG and just go, "I have no idea what she's talking about."
Yeah, I'm going to whisper to Rock and be like, "What did you do?
I have no idea.
Why does she hate you in your bum?
I don't know what my bum did."
What did your bum do?"
She did specifically say no tail.
Apparently she's offended by the fact that I have no tail.
I mean, aren't we all?
How very tail.
I punch him on the arm a little bit. I'm just kidding.
We can't all have hoofs either.
Jealous.
You didn't say that on the ladder, did you?
It's about this time that...
How many times are we going to call back the ladder?
The ladder is a good callback.
As many times as the dungeon bees and the spectral pat down.
Yeah.
That was a good first adventure. We've had many exciting moments.
It's around about this time that the ranger comes back downstairs, and she's followed by a tall, handsome tiefling man wearing like grey robes with red touches, and he kind of sets eyes upon the three of you as soon as he comes around the corner, and he smiles like an easy, warm smile, and wanders up and he goes, "Hi, I'm Grease. You must all be the newcomers."
Yes. How old is he?
Probably a couple of summers older than Eugene.
Oh, so he is.
I think Eugene is very excited to meet another wizard, but also intimidated in that way that like he has been like the only wizard, so he can kind of get away with like not being confident at everything because these two don't really know any better, and now it's like there's this person who has like quite a lot of knowledge maybe, and yeah, he feels a little bit like, oh, there's like he looks cooler than me, and he's a little bit older than me, and he probably knows magic better than me, and
doesn't have as
kind
good a
of
hat
spiraling.
as you,
yeah, he definitely like straightens up his hat as this person comes down the stairs.
My name is Rock, and this is Eugene and Ashling. We are, say, newcomers. Are you native to this area, or?
I was traveling to somewhere. Sorry, I'm sure that they've explained by now. Some details are hazier than others. I think I was on my way to the town, or I was on my way from the town. Vesherin. I remember Vesherin.
Is that the town?
Yeah, and then whatever happened, and I remember wanting to defend everybody, so I cast a spell that my mentor had taught me, and I've been basically refreshing it ever since.
Aha, so there was an event, so something happened.
I remember something. Well, something must have happened, because otherwise I wouldn't have cast a spell. I mean, and it kind of looks to Eugene. That seems right.
Logical. Yes.
Yeah, right.
That depends. If you don't remember, how would you remember if you'd done it in response to an event?
Kind of only.
Well, you wouldn't just be casting willy-nilly spells, would you?
No, absolutely. I mean, spells are dangerous and unpredictable, and
You're not supposed to cast it willy-nilly.
Not willy-nilly, no.
Well, you could have cast it because it's been happening for a long time. Just saying, if you don't remember, it could have been happening over time, and then when you realized, you cast it, as opposed to it happened immediately, and then you cast it in response to that immediately happening.
Oh, I think so.
I think Gris will kind of fix Eugene with a desperate look for a second. It's like a help me look. Like
that makes perfect sense. I'm trying to figure it out if this is an event that has happened over time, or whether it was some kind of cataclysmic event, or a spell, or a curse, or something that has made this occur instantly.
Everything about an event feels right to me. I can't remember what it was, though. Sorry. Something happened. I cast a spell to protect these people, and we've been stuck here ever since. The more we go outside, the more we lose of ourselves, and the quicker we lose of ourselves. And I still can't stop it creeping in. By and large, most of it.
Based on the movement of the sun and day and night, do you have any idea how long you have been doing this spell and refreshing it?
No. But I make sure I prepare it every single day now.
What is the spell?
Step aside just a little bit, just to start setting up a little sundial by one of the windows whilst these guys are talking.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no problem. You kind of have you heard of the spell Intellect Fortress?
No.
it's really good. Basically, what it does is it allows everybody. So normally I can only cast it on myself, but my mentor, who I can't remember the name of, but I know is really powerful, and I were working on a concept whereby we could create a pocket area that would protect everyone within it. And it obviously works because now it is my life. I don't mean that in any sort of bitter way. I'm just here. So basically it just strengthens your mind and prevents other things from affecting you. But it's obviously not perfect.
If you cast it on someone, on a person, how long does it last?
Usually only an hour or so. However, and I've been getting better at this, I think I may be able to create a temporary imbuing artifact that would protect its wearer for a few days.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
It's largely theoretical at this moment, and actually, it kind of like literally almost grabs your hand. Eugene said, "You being here is really exciting because I can bounce ideas off of you, and I'm sure your field of study is very different, but like core principles are always the same, aren't they?"
I mean, I'd love to help if I can.
Oh, sorry, I'm holding your hand.
Eugene looks very uncomfortable, but also like he feels special, and he wants like the attention, but also he doesn't really know how to deal with it.
Sorry, I get excited.
That's okay.
Your space, my space. But yeah, I'd love to. If you have time and you want to stay for a while, I would love to work on that with you and see what we can do.
Well, I think it would be handy if we're going to investigate further, if we had something to take with us that would protect us further from any effects of the spell.
Great. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously you've just arrived, so I'm not going to leap on you now. Apart from,
I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that because it gives me such a hard time about bending everyone's ear about this stuff. Well, I mean, I'll go and get my notes, and we can set up over there. And
that sounds great. I love notes.
There's this childlike joy as he literally runs for the stairs, almost tripping over on his robes as he does, and just kind of pulling them up and then kind of like disappearing up, taking them 3 steps at a time.
I think he might run past Aisling as she's coming back from setting up a sundial, and she's like, "Where's he? What's he? What's
He's getting notes."
Okay,
oh,
I set up.
There's 2 of them now.
For God's sake. I've set up a little doodad, right? So every time that passes, I'm gonna make a little mark on the wall, as long as we can remember.
Well, if we try and remind each other, perhaps that will help.
Yeah.
I'd like an investigation check off of Aisling as you come back downstairs, by the way.
Okie dokie. That's an 8.
An 8. Don't notice anything unusual. You kind of just make your way back. As the 3 of you are left alone, the dwarf kind of looks like he makes a decision for himself and gets off his stool and wanders over. Hello there.
Oh my God.
My name's Bramda.
Hello.
Are you children of the dragon, or do you serve the unseen one?
Yeah.
Kind of narrows his eyes at the 3 of you, just trying to see like he's trying to read you or anything.
Any particular dragon that we are supposed to be children of? He's
a bit dragony.
That's what I'm hoping. And he kind of looks
There are
over at
right answers?
Riskarif. Riskarif is sort of coming back into the room. He kind of looks at her like shakily, and then kind of, if you are, I am your friend.
If we
I
are
can
what?
help, but talk to me when it's quieter. And steps away back to his beer. Riskarif kind of like gives him a sidelong look as he comes in.
That was suitably cryptic.
Yes, well, that's right. Well, better explain some of the things that have changed since. And she kind of pulls up a chair and she goes, I don't fully trust any of you because I don't know you and you're not the people I need to protect. But we're going to need to be honest with each other if this is going to work. I am not from this village. I came over on a merchant's cart working. I was the last one leaving the inn when whatever happened. And so I've managed to be here longer than everybody else. I actually want to get back to the main city and back to my wife and my children. I'm terribly worried about them, frankly. But I can't leave this place. But that young wizard now sounds really excited about there's a possibility and you three might be able to help, babbling on incoherently like he does as he went past. So, if you got any questions, I want to help, particularly if it means that we can go.
Right, well, perhaps we should start with proper introductions then. My name is Rock. This is Eugene, and this is Aisling.
She shakes Eugene and Aisling's hands without any problem. There's a second where she thinks about it and then gets over herself and then shakes your hand. Sorry, old prejudices die hard. It's not so long ago that your people invaded.
Oh, what?
Wait, whose people invaded what?
You're not Cheerio.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure who that is.
Tailless dragonborn from the north.
I'm simply a dragonborn. I have no idea. That would explain your fascination with my tail, my lack thereon.
I've seen worse behind, certainly, but yeah, it was particularly your lack of tail.
Stop it, you're too kind. Oh, look now, you made me blush. Anyway, as I was saying, we're not from around here, and I'm afraid even your descriptions of invasion, it seems completely foreign certainly to me. We have come here investigating this landmass that we are currently on, but it appears that there is some kind of, as you're explaining, magical interference here. I understand you may not trust us, but we are here purely to explore and see what is on this landmass.
And help.
Well, we obviously need to find out what is going on and see if we can help in any way.
There is a lot going on, I know.
Tell me about it.
So you say you're from another land?
That's correct.
What's your land?
Real quick.
What's
our land, right? One less moon. So that hopefully might give you a little idea as to quite how far away our land seems to be.
That's not possible. There's only ever been 2 moons.
No, not our one.
Oh.
Nope.
Okay,
just to give you, that's literally the only gauge of distance I've got for this. So
where you come from, there's only 1 moon.
Correct.
One. No.
Next thing you know, you're going to tell me there's no continent Goral.
How do you spell that?
So perhaps we should begin by explaining that our entire world consists of a collection of floating islands, floating in the sea is what you do here. Floating in the air is what our land masses do. So you can understand how finding ourselves here was ever so slightly disconcerting when we discovered the body of water with the things that move in and out all
Bloody
the time.
big water.
It
See.
was rather terrifying. That's
Yeah,
the one,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, right. I'm gonna need some mead to get through this conversation, and I think you all could do with something as well. What would you like?
Oh, definitely. I will have some. Do you have any liqueurs?
I'm sure we can find something for you.
Oh, good. I'll have a large glass of that.
I will have as much cheese and bread as you can ethically fit on a surface.
I mean, you've got a big platter that you've been working through, by the way, whilst you're having a conversation.
Yes, gone.
Oh dear. And
I mean,
I may not get hungry, but I also don't get full.
Exactly. I was just going to say, well, if there's no
I feel
hunger,
like
then...
Ashling's just been eating this whole time, kind of like,
Uh-huh.
when you kind of just stress eating and you don't really realize that you're doing it. It's just the motion of eating is just comforting.
She like goes
somehow.
to grab more cheese and there's nothing there, and she has a little panic and is like, "Ah!"
And the cheese is gone.
That's because I have the last piece of cheese.
She flips the table and leaves.
Dear.
I think halfway through the second platter, Rock will just say to Aisling, I don't feel any fuller, do you?
No, it's great.
Fantastic, more cheese.
I think there is a point where your biology does catch up with you, though, and it's like you start feeling a bit because you have actually eaten too much, and your body still needs to digest. It's not magic. It is magic, but it's not that sort of magic.
I suppose
I
on
thought
the
we
upside,
found
at
cheese
least,
Shangri-La. I was so excited.
on the upside, at least we know our bodies are working.
Riskarif comes
Which-
back a little while later, and she's actually with Erda as well, and the two of them pull up a chair. And they ask you a lot of questions about where you're from and about the islands and stuff. And they listen intently.
So, can I just clarify? I would intentionally not tell them sort of who hired us or about the political conflict or about claiming the land. I would only share about the fact that we have come to investigate this landmass.
Yeah, find out what it's
That-
about.
that's-
Which is actually
Yeah.
true, because although it will be in Cloudskern's region, Cloudskern would rather check what's going on first. Then
So I wouldn't lie to them, but I would certainly omit anything that could lead to them feeling like we were invading or claiming or or causing any kind of conflict. So that's what I would be careful of sharing.
After a while,
Good idea.
they both sit back and they kind of look at each other and go, well, you wanted we said we wanted outsiders. Maybe them not being from here will help them protect themselves.
We're about as outside as it comes, apparently.
Do you? I mean, have any of you lost or felt off, or like something's missing at all?
I'm going to shoot a look at Rock because we had the chat about our dreams.
I suspect that whatever is at play here is trying to have an effect on us. As yet, we don't feel anything particularly that we have noticed. However, I particularly from a dream that I had, feel as if something was attempting to make me forget things. So I suspect that we are certainly not immune to these magics.
And if I may, I've also there's a source of magic that I normally tap from, and I've sort of lost a little bit of a connection with it. So that's been an effect as well.
I think it's about this sort of time that Gris is coming back down, like with a loose file of paper that he's barely managing to contain.
Eugene's eyes light up.
Why can't I hold all these notes?
I think as soon as he hears that, he kind of goes, "Oh, so oh, that's amazing! So you do magic, but it's not you borrow magic. Is it like a god or a deity or a higher power?"
He likes to think so. No.
Yes, do all the bad mouthing now where I can't hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a bit chaotic, but yeah, it was only a few years ago that I could start doing it. I'm not cool like you guys.
Like I mean,
this is the first time Eugene's ever been described as cool, so he's just having a moment to bask in that.
I think Gris is also goes a darker shade of grey as he kind of blushes a little bit. I don't think wizardry is really seen as cool, necessary and important sometimes, but not cool.
But Eugene has saved our lives several times.
That's proper cool.
I mean,
and you've read
is
4
very well
billion
respected.
books.
I mean, you can tell Eugene is special. That the hat says special.
Oh, mate, you got no idea.
The hat definitely says something.
Oh, Eugene is special. Eugene is special without the hat. Eugene has, as I say, has saved our lives and has been an integral part of our adventuring.
Yeah.
For the last 4 days.
So, my question is to Gris and to Eugene. Given that you three seem unaffected, or less affected, if Gris can pull off this amulet idea of his, would you go to the town and see if they can find out more about what's happening there for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we have to try and find our way home. So if there is any way of finding out what is going on, that may help us find our way home. So we are absolutely in, for lack of a better term, the same boat.
I mean, I'd love to help. I can't leave these people, but I do have people. I'm sure I'm looking for my mentor, and I'm certain he must be in the town. Maybe he can help you.
Yeah, maybe your mentor's done the same thing as you.
Yeah,
maybe there's a building in the town that's like you lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any magical means of contacting your mentor, though?
I did, but I forgot it.
Of course you did.
I feel like that's going to be a consistent theme.
It already is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sorry. And you are going to find that a lot, particularly if you encounter anybody who's got any semblance of themselves out there.
It's not your fault, is it?
Elves and gnomes, they're the last to go.
Okay, yeah, we did notice a trend with the gnomes.
It's almost sadder, actually, because there's still sparks of them left. Anyway, Erda just kind of puts her hand on his shoulder from where she's sitting on a high stool and just kind of gives him a squeeze. You can't save everybody. You've done more than anybody else in this village has been able to. So you should be proud of yourself. And with Eugene here, we might make a breakthrough. So, no pressure, lad. I'm sorry about that, but you should rest, make yourself comfortable, and we'll see what we can do, right?
If anyone can do it, Eugene can do it, and I give Eugene a little elbow.
All the responsibilities weighing on his shoulders.
I think you and Gris have kind of got this whole sort of almost all instantaneous, oh my god, we're in out over our head and we've got to perform expression on just looking at each other going, I hope you know what
try
you're
my
doing.
best.
We'll certainly give it a go.
Yeah.
I will put my hand on Eugene's shoulder and quietly to Eugene just say, you have all the power that you need, and I'm sure that you will be absolutely fine. And don't worry about what everyone else says. Just do what you do best.
Okay.
Can I go over to the woman, the half elf, who was the one they said they thought was going soon? so to speak.
She's picked up a bottle of rum and she's tucked herself into a corner far away from everybody. And she looks up at you as you come. You have business with me, Outlander.
My name is Rock. I wanted to introduce myself. You are?
My name is Armour Delwater. It is nice to meet you, Rock. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not feeling very personable right now. I'd rather just be alone with my rum and my thoughts.
I wanted to ask you a very simple question, if you don't mind.
She sighs and nods wearily.
Our hosts have mentioned that you were not feeling yourself. We are trying to help.
It's everyone here is used to buildings and walls and confines. I am not, and I cannot be who I'm supposed to be at the moment because it's not safe. But then there's a point at which you have to question, is safe worth it? And I'm at that crossroads right now.
May I ask, are you also struggling with remembering things as other people are?
Yeah. Not as much as Cordell was, but...
Would you mind terribly? I would like to try a spell that sometimes helps restore people from illnesses, etc. And I have no idea whether it would help, but I wondered if I may try it on you. It is never known to have done any damage to anyone, so I would not do anything to put you at risk, but perhaps it may help.
She sort of thinks about this for a second, and she goes, sure, it can't hurt, right?
Okay, I am just going to sit with her and take her hand with her permission. And the only thing I have really is lesser restoration, so I'm going to cast that.
Okay.
And just see if it has any impact whatsoever.
So I would like you to roll your magic attack again to see the strength of this spell and how connected you managed to get.
Sure. What do I add for it?
It would be the same as you would for, say, things like your vicious mockery and things like that. Okay. Not vicious mockery. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, your spell attack roll normally. I think it'd probably be about +6 at your level.
Do I have any attacks? Oh yeah, so
should be at the top on D&D Beyond next to your save.
Yeah, it's +4.
+4. Okay, cool.
Yeah, sorry.
That's right. No worries. It's always if you can't find it, it's always your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so that's a 13 +4, so 17.
17. So you flow forward with this magic, and how does, because Rock being a bard is, and particularly a bard of words rather than song, how does Rock cast his magic?
So for this, Rock takes her hand with her permission and asks her to close her eyes, and basically it's like a guided meditation. So I talk her through walking through a forest path, and as she walks through the forest path, small bits of light, almost like fireflies, join her and walk with her until she gets to a point where there is a stream, and she takes a sip from the stream and she sees light fill her body, and that's where the magic takes place. And that's how I hope to clear out with this light that she envisages anything that is affecting her that I can.
That sounds so chill. I want to have that meditation.
I use it a lot. I can record it for you if you like.
So you feel the magic and you feel the words, and words are very powerful for you anyway, and you twist them into a shape, and you gently, soothingly flow them down into into Anna's self, and you reach out and you try and push any poisons or toxins or anything else that is holding her back or stopping her memory, and just almost unclog everything inside her, to use an ugly term. And you feel the magic flow, and you feel it go, and it should work, and the spell is right, but it just seems to get lost in something bigger, almost like your words are echoing into a chamber that's just too vast to be filled with both the sounds and the words you know. But as that sound reverberates around in this moment between you, there's something else there. And as you're coming back out, you almost have to instinctually pull back as something looks at you. New toys. Yes. And you pull back as something powerful draws its attention on you for a second. And that is a perfect place for us to stop tonight.
Don't like that. Don't like that.
Oh, God.
No.
Well, this has been a really, really good episode. I'm really, really pleased to be back. It's been really exciting. I'm very excited about what happens. Thank you.
I've missed us.
Yay. I had so much fun with everybody else, but I missed this. You have all been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for sticking with us as we've overrun just a little bit. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. Which is the 28th of November for the next part of this. In the meantime, I'm going to go around and let my cast tell you the wonderful things that they're doing. Starting with Charlie today.
Cool. What am I doing? I mean, I've still got some cool stuff in my shop, which is charlievince.com/shop. This isn't Aliens. My housemate just got back with his very bright bike light, just by the way.
It's just the
Not
voice in
getting
Rock's head
abducted.
has just found you first, Charlie, that's all.
Do not.
No.
Yeah. Feel free to check out stuff at my shop. I've got a lot of really stupid, glorious stickers and sticker sheets and sketchbooks and nice, colourful, mad stuff. And just charlievince.com and charlievince.com/shop. And thank you ever so much, everybody who watched. You're all amazing. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel now that it's called Some Other Heroes, and on Instagram and Twitter as well.
Thank you for that reminder. Obviously, I don't think anybody missed it. I think everybody got it, but apart from people who are a little bit more analog, who need a little hand.
Love you, Mum.
Yeah, we absolutely. Hi, Charlie's mum. We love you. Hi, Colleen's mum. We love you too.
Yeah, I got a bit of a panicked phone call from Mum earlier saying, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get online. Where are you? I was like, it's okay. The name's changed. Here's the link.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
Love you, Mum.
We still exist. We promise. Next, Theo.
Hello. Yes, you can find me on the internet, most places, at theoblue.jpg. I also have a shop, Etsy shop, which has got some things in it if you'd like to look at it. And towards the end of the month, I will be, for any Norwich locals, I will be at the Fierce Babe Network market. So come see me in the real life.
It's a great market as well.
It is an awesome
Yeah,
market.
it is.
Like if you even if you're
It's
not,
awesome.
you should come to Norwich just to go to that market. It's amazing. So,
Yeah.
Wayne.
Hi, I am Wayne, and you can find me on the internet at WayneFix01. I don't have a shop yet,
Not an
because
illustrator and don't have a shop.
I can't draw nice
Yeah.
things like they can.
Letting the team down.
But please do follow us on the socials, and if you have enjoyed this, please share with people and let them know about us, because we try and build a community of awesome people around this game and other D&D and geeky adventuring type things. So we would really appreciate it if you could do that.
Wonderful, thank you. I've been Chris Mepham. You can find me at Chris Mepham RPG on the Twitter and at Chris Mepham Art on the Instagram. I have a website, but it needs a desperate update. I do not have a shop at the moment. I am going to sort that out very soon. Also, as everyone has said, please do follow Some Other Heroes. Wherever you find the socials, that is the same there. We would love it. Also, our wonderful friends from Wicked Game are here, so we would like you to go out and support them if you're not doing so as well, because they are brilliant. They have a wonderful weekly show which is fully chaotic and fully endorsed by this cast. Just pirates on the sea being generally the right level of awful at the world, and it's brilliant. And also they play Dragon Age on a weekly on a Thursday, and it's incredibly chill and just really good fun to watch people projecting personality and role play on something that's a sort of a static like story. Other than that, really, really good people, lovely local people. We love them a lot. So yes, we will be back.
It's a local stream for local people.
And we're going to try and do some stuff with them over the next 12 months as well. So we keep an eye out for that as well. So we're going to, as soon as we can actually grab a coffee together. We love you lots. This has been a lot of fun. We're really pleased to be back, and we will be back in 2 weeks' time for the next episode.
And thank you, Chris. Best DM.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Love you all. Mwah.
Love you all. Bye bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.